Good evening, YouTube land. Welcome to a very dry Monaco. I'm only slightly disappointed. It's going to be exciting enough without the rain, but goodness me, here we are on the streets. There's a swimming pool. We'll get wet that way. Jacob Weatherburn, good evening.
Good evening, mate. How are you?
I'm so cold. I don't know where you are in the world, but up here in the broadcast booth, it is freezing. I'm going to go chuck a jumper on if I get a chance.
Yeah, I may have just chucked mine on before I sat down tonight because I am going nowhere. I've been looking forward to this racing all week here at Monaco, and I think we are in for some chaos.
So, straight off the bat, Joe Williams, 5-place grid penalty for what I think was a collision. Did you just catch that? We're on board with the great man here. I don't know if he's got all his parts and his pieces. Oh, jump out the gate straight early with that one. Jeremy liked that one last week. He's missing end plates. He's had a collision. He's run up someone's bum, I reckon.
Yeah, there's no one on track in front of him, so I'm not sure if he's tried to pass someone or what's happened there, but he's going to cost himself 5 places.
Straight back in the pits he goes. He'll have to have another crack. So, yeah, that's going to hurt. That won't be reset. He will, in fact, cop that 5-place grid penalty, and not a great start to the weekend for Joe, but anyway, let's see if we can find someone else on track, and we'll see if there's any hot laps underway. Barrage Sandhu looks like he's about to start his fly-up.
This is an absolutely great track to race on. I do enjoy racing around here. I'm bummed that I'm not racing tonight.
Oh, really? Is that...
I love it. It requires so much concentration. And that was close.
Someone's around back there. May have been Dale Beveridge. No, that's him, so it might have been the other Haas. Was it Deckers?
Deckers.
It is.
Yes,
He's doing the Austin Powers. Oh, good Lord. He's smashing up his wing. Oh, no. So, luckily enough, ghosted cars tonight. So, if that were to occur in the race, the cars will be ghosted and then other cars won't be affected. But obviously, still not ideal for poor old Deckers there, as he's got to crawl all the way back to the pits with that one. Going back to what you were saying, I actually really enjoy racing here too, but I think that's an unpopular opinion because a lot of people really don't enjoy this track. I love the spectacle of getting around and, experiencing the Monaco streets, and I like the the fact that the race is, so hard to concentrate, keep all your wings and bits and pieces in place, and to make it to the end is a race in of itself.
Well, I think that's why I personally enjoy it so much, is because it's a matter of who can concentrate the longest, not necessarily who has the fastest car.
So yeah, I think you and I, as I said, are outliers. Most people don't enjoy this track. Matt Thomas goes quickest, 110.3. I think we'll dip into 109s and potentially even a high 108 here in Tier 2. Your thoughts? I don't know if you've got any indications so far this week of what sort of pace these guys are going to be doing.
I would expect a very low 109. I think Malik, Matt Thomas might be able to grab a high 8 if they get an extremely good lap in. But I would expect somewhere between a 9 and a 9.5 would be my guess.
The cars sound so good going through that tunnel.
On board with Matt Thomas here, down to the chicane.
Might be on an in-lap, Matty. He just posted that 110.3, so unless he's doing a second flyer on the softs, I reckon he's on his way in. As is his teammate Miles just pulled into the pits. Go and have a look around. Momo, I think, has just posted that 110.5.
Some quick times coming in here for your first flying lap. I mean, a 10.3 is definitely good for your first flyer. Allows you to really push the pace on your next couple of runs. As Sec in chat reckons Mullock is going to put it on pole.
Wow, that's a massive call. Mitch Weatherburn. I would love to see him do it. He had a great, strong result last week. Obviously finished on the podium. Yeah, but it's a fast field. There's plenty of quality drivers in here, so if he puts it on pole, that'll be a massive plus for him. Franco coming around the final sector here now. I think he's a little bit up on his previous... No, never mind. Scratch that. Straight in the pits. There he goes. Tricky little pit entry here too.
It's definitely one of the tightest. I think it's probably the tightest on the F1 calendar. It's It gets very hairy if someone's going up your inside for an overtake and you want to get into the pit lane.
So straight after the last corner there, you got to jam on, keep that steering angle and throw it in there. It's going to be tricky when you've got a car up your bum or a car in front of you trying to get into that pit lane.
Yeah, I've had many a collision trying to get into the pit lane here, hitting cars on my inside that are obviously trying to go past me. It never ends well. Got Tom Maloney here in the Williams. 10.8 is his quickest so far. Into the last couple of corners.
Oh,
and he's pitting as
also
well.
on an in lap. This is going well. I'm great at finding drivers on hot laps. How are you going, Dale? Oh, Bevo. Let's see how he goes up the hill here. Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I reckon this is a great... It's obviously a great track to hot lap. I think most people enjoy hot lapping it, being right on the edge of death and whatnot. But yeah, people just don't like racing here because obviously there's no overtaking opportunities, really. All your overtakes are done in the pit stops or, you know, by keeping your wings and bits and pieces in order as everyone else sort of falls off the track. And, you know, that's... Maybe the spectators don't like seeing that. As I said, no on-track overtakes. But yeah, for me, I love racing it. Yeah, if you like seeing safety cars, if that's what you're all about, get a couple of those tonight.
Got a couple of the Tier 1 guys in chat. Are we going for the undercut or the overcut tonight? Is anyone willing to give away their strats there in chat? Because I think the undercut might work as long as you come out in clear traffic. As long as you come out with a clear track. If you come out in traffic, an undercut's going to hurt you big time.
Oh, straight in the pits there he goes too. Come on, pal. Yeah, I spot on. I think it depends on whether you got clear track, isn't it? If you can pull off an overcut, it'll be because, you know, the guy in front of you was a little bit slower and you get 2 or 3 laps left on your tyres to push and push and push and maybe get the overcut done. But you're spot on. As you said, if you can use the track map to maybe identify there's a gap and get that undercut happening. Same thing if you've got spare track. It could be either or.
Yeah, some of the guys are saying the undercut will put you in traffic. Pit around that lap 9-10. Obviously, this is all safety car dependent because if you have multiple safety cars, an undercut or an overcut does not matter at all. If you can get those free pit stops on the safety car.
Sounds so good going through the tunnel. I'm going to be using that camera angle a lot tonight as we go through there. Speaking of camera angles, I actually don't mind the TV camera angles this week. The Saudi Arabian ones were a little bit... I guess because it's a new track, they're given permission to not quite get those fine-tuned, but the Monaco ones are pretty good.
Andre Hughes, he's definitely on a flyer. Sitting in P3 at the moment. Is he going to improve? And he does. Jumps to the top with a 10.1. So we're getting close to the 9s now.
Yeah, nice. Torterra puts himself up there. Still 8 minutes to go too, so plenty of time for these fellas to get a couple of extra laps in. Obviously, with Monaco being pretty deadly, they'll be cautious going around for these first couple of laps and trying to get these bankers in. But especially those top 5, 6, 7 drivers. Now that they've got those bankers in, they will push in the next 8 minutes for sure. Here's Diabols.
I've heard to definitely not put the hard tyres on around here. A few guys have told me that the hard tyres are absolutely rubbish around here, that you want to avoid those tyres at all costs. But in fairness, I think they're pretty rubbish at most tracks.
Yeah, I don't think they are any good at any tracks, are they really? Unless you're doing like 100% races, then it might be a little bit different story. And of course, they've got their niche uses. If you get that lap 1 or 2 safety car and you've got to go repair a wing, then it might be ideal to jump on the hard tyre and go to the end. But yeah, in terms of, as you said, in terms of pace, just, oh God, go back. I was enjoying that. In terms of pace, they're not very quick, are they?
As we said before, track position is king around here. I don't think it really matters what tyre you're on. No one's really going to get past you. I think probably turn 1 is the only overtaking opportunity because you get that DRS straight there. But besides that, I don't really see anyone passing around here. As Curtis hits the wall there out of the chicane.
So into the pits, there he goes. Who else is out there?
Got Mullock on an outlap.
Tom Maloney.
Yep.
He's got red hair, don't you know?
Does he really?
Actually, don't know. I don't know. I don't think he does. I think it's just an in-joke. I actually should learn the answer to that. He certainly has red hair in the Discord. If If you use your imagination, you can make it so. So, looks like he's on a lap. He's using he's using high gear, he's using low revs, but it's giving him good traction, so we'll see if he improves. He does not on that lap. But he pushed through turn 1 there, so maybe this is the hot lap. We'll stay on board with him. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead, so hopefully he can negotiate that. Decker's obviously a very long time OOR man. He'll be... No, that's not a lap from Tom either. He pulls out of that one, so let's go find his teammate, Jesse McLean, who had a good result last week, involved in the early safety car and got a little visit from the stewards midweek. So he'll be looking this week to steer clear of any donkey points and hold on to any good position he can manage to wangle out of his start. A couple in the pits. Matt Thomas back on track here. It's not a great camera angle there, so we'll jump over to this one. Do love the onboard shot on Monaco. You can't really beat it, can you?
I love this hairpin here. It's so nice and tight down to first gear. Probably one of my favourite corners of this track. I'm straight into the tunnel.
Yes, and the Codemasters guides are nice to us. They don't give us the revolution bug as we go through there. Volume up, beautiful. I love the sound of those engines in that tunnel. Gets me every time.
Definitely on a good lap here, I think.
Yeah, crossing into the final sector now, and he's 0.003 up. So he is up, but it is of the very slightest of margins. Let's see how he goes in this last sector. If he can pick up a tenth or two. He only needs 2 to go provisional pole. Gets a good exit out of there. Opens up the DRS nice and early. Good traction. But he actually lost time on his previous best, so also doesn't improve.
What else we got out there? Looks like everyone's sort of on their out laps or either in the pits. Decker's here.
We watched Deckers before trying to Austin Power his way out of the wall in the first sector, so he'll be looking to improve, that's for sure. Full grid of 20 here tonight, by the way. Congratulations, Tier 2. That's a great effort. I was going to say significant, and that's not the word I was looking for, so I gave up on it. Let's see, Deckers. Let's see it. Also doesn't improve.
2 tenths down.
Yeah. So lots of drivers just not quite finding the pace now as the track evolves.
So what the guys are doing good to get out of the way are the guys on the fastest lap so far, because it's not an easy track to get out of someone's way on if you're getting blue flagged or anything like that as well. There's not much room to go 2 cars wide around here.
Momo currently in P2, only needs to find himself a 10th.
Tunnel will get us definitely a touch on the wall there, it looked like.
Yep, he absolutely did. So he'll pull out of that lap, I would suggest. 3 minutes to go. There might still be time for Momo to duck back in the pits and recover and go again.
And we got left 3 minutes. Probably he's very quick. He's got enough time. It's only 1:10 for a lap, so he should definitely get around there. In pole says in chat, a 109 will be pole for tier 2. 109.5.
So what's the tier 1 time there, Impulse? I thought there was a couple of 108s that I spotted, but they are all tier 1 times, you reckon?
Yeah, you can definitely get to the 108s. Very low 108s as well, I do believe.
You'd have to be brave to be going down there, I reckon. Goodness gracious. Even in the previous game, I was only getting 110s. I don't know what I'd be doing in this one with the different tyre model and whatnot. Dale Beveridge definitely on a hot lap here. He's committed up through this first sector. Down a gear there, slips it in, a little short shift to mind that bump. Gets over there nicely. Tucks it in. This is a good looking lap so far. Very clean. Hooked it up on that slow. One of the slowest corners, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure there is many slower ones than that on the F1 calendar.
I'd probably say this track has most of the slowest corners on the F1 calendar.
Tricky little chicane here, downhill braking zone, but he got on there nice and early. Did well.
So he got good traction out of there.
Yep. All over the curbs, cutting enough, but he's a second off his previous best. So he's just not on it here either. So will he go for one more flyer? That's the question. Or does he put it in the pits and say Q in the rack? No, he's going to have one more.
I'd say with the shot, I don't know what tyre wear's like around here, but I'd say with a short lap, you're probably able to do that double run pretty comfortably on the tyres.
Andre McLeod currently on provisional pole, so we'll jump on board with him as he has one final crack at it. In fact, with the 7 minute 15 to go, if this one doesn't quite work out, he could have one more crack.
Coming up on some traffic there, it looked like. That AlphaTauri in front of him. Going into the tunnel. He was down on his time a little bit in Sector 1, so see if he can make some time up through here. A good run out of here. Hopefully these cars get out of his way nice and easy.
Oh no, that ain't it. Yep. So you can see his car's ghosted there, so that's not going to affect Dale Beveridge time at all. But that'll be it for Andre. He'll have to get back to the pits now, and he won't have time to sort all that out and have another crack. So currently provisional pole, but unable to improve.
Got Momo on an outlap.
Suma's out here on track at the moment. Just picked up some of Andre's wing on his way through there. That's very kind of him. I reckon Suma's lining up for one more crack here, but he's got 10 seconds to cross the line, so you want to get a move on.
Not sure he's going to get there.
I don't know either.
Nah, they're done.
No, that's it. So
no one really coming around, only the guys on the flyers now.
Dale Beveridge is a second and a half down, so it's probably not going to be him. Tom was taking a very, very tight line through the tunnel there, so I don't think it's going to be him. Tell you what, Andre McLeod might be sitting pretty up there. Momo's on a lap. Let's see what he can find. Can he get that final 10th? He's half a 10th up on his previous best. He needs another half a 10th. Final sector now for Momo.
Nail the run out of this last corner. Get that DRS open.
Whoa, all right. Apparently he didn't quite get the traction right in his own mind, and he thought, no, this ain't going to be it. But I'm on tally, so have a wiggle. So he'll stay P2. That looks like it's going to be just about it. Everyone else has got checkered flags or is in the pits. So, Andre McLeod, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was on pole last week.
I do believe he may have been. I can't quite remember, but I think you might be right there.
Followed by the two Alfa Romeos. So, that's a great effort. He's put it on pole 2 weeks in a row. And then, yeah, Momo right behind him. Obviously, last week's race winner. He also pitted early for the safety car and got on the mediums and took them all the way to the end. 22 laps he went on those mediums for the victory. So it is Torterra. Andre McLeod, 110.121. No one getting into the 109s as predicted. So I think we saw plenty of low 110s there with about 8 minutes to go. And then just a couple of drivers not quite getting it right on their second and third runs. Momo, P2. Robert Wenzel, Suma is in P3. Matt Thomas, P4. And Ben Curtis Dyer Bowles is in P5. So there you have it. Less than a second all the way down to P13. Nice and tight. Just as we like it, Tier 2. Love that from you.
Pat want to throw up there. How many safety cars are we going to get this race?
Oh, Lordy.
Let's get a poll going. I want to see if anyone can get the right number.
I don't know how to put polls up in chat, but if I did, I would. I'd suggest there's going to be 3.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I mean, I definitely think we'll get more than one. I'd be very surprised if we didn't, but I'm not going to put a number on it.
So just while we're waiting for everyone to get out on a track here, I'm going to play with a few little things that I was missing from before. I'm going to have that one, and that one, and that one. Beautiful. Now I can see chat. That makes me much better. Theo's in here. He's a little bit sick at the moment. Poor old Theo. Let us know how you're going. Did you get down the shops and get some medication? He was struggling in practice before. I hope you're feeling better, big fella. Impulse, obviously, in here. Loves it. Peach! Hello, Peach! Good to see you, my friend. Mitch Weatherburn, of course. Jeremy, love to see you, mate. Danny Wong's up there. Posting swear words. No, I'm not going to post that. I can stay out. I'm the only one who can see it, but I can see it. Love your chat. Always appreciate your efforts jumping in here every week and getting around myself and Jacob. Keeping us company as we watch these fellas go around this beautiful, picturesque and historic Monaco track for... I actually don't know the answer to this question. How many laps? Do you know? Have a guess.
I think it's 30-something from memory. 50% race.
Have a crack. Come on.
Wrong, or high 20s. 31.
31. I reckon there's 36. It's only a minute and 10. I reckon there'd be more than... I reckon it's 36. Anyone else in chat want to have a crack at how many laps there is in a 50% Monaco race? Feel free to put your bets out. I've said 3 safety cars, 36 laps, 0% chance of rain until we get to Tier 1. JLS is in chat. Yes. Hello, mate. Oh, it's been given the spanner too, if you don't mind. Get ready to smite some bots. We get those bots in here every now and then. They try and convince me I need to get online and get sexy girls and stuff, and it makes me feel bad. So you get ready to smite those bots, JLS. You're on the ball. Spidey, he's in here too. Hello, mate.
39 laps we've got.
39, is it?
Said. That is a long time.
Is that a guess, though? I reckon there's a couple of guesses. Nah, he'd know, though. He's done practice. So he's
yes,
probably...
yeah. So surely we're on point there. 30, 39.
Hello, Bootsy. Very new to OOR is Bootsy. Welcome him. Get around him. Bootsy's from North America, if I'm not mistaken. What time is it over there? Goodness gracious. 6 o'clock in North America, it'd be... Nah, I'm not even going to pretend to guess. I've got no idea. Tell us what time it is, Bootsy. Where are you? What's the weather? Really cold over here in Australia. You got nice, warm weather over there in America at the moment. Hello, Donny. Donny's in Tier 1, is he? How are you going in Tier 1, Donny? You done practice? You ready to go? 4:25 a.m, Bootsy. What are you doing, son? Get back to bed. Nah, he's up for some Monaco action. Love that. That's commitment. Great work from you, Bootsy.
All these Tier 1 guys here are looking for strat options here in Tier 2.
That's it.
Seeing what these guys do. Jeff will no doubt be telling everyone to don't dive bomb into Sandevot. So hopefully we don't have any of these guys decide to throw a dive bomb here.
Just a couple more seconds now while we wait for the players to ready up. Obviously setting their strategies and getting their tyres ready and whatnot, but the countdown has begun. So, as you said, down into St. Devot they will go for the first time, and we will hope that they make it through there cleanly. But I, for one, as I said, 3 safety cars generally come in the first sort of quarter of the race. So, I'm betting there will be some carnage here at Turn 1.
Never know, these guys might surprise us here.
Tier 2 is the cleanest tier, that is for sure. 5 red lights, 6, 7. There's actually 10 red lights. And now they're all gone. So down into Turn 1 we go. No 3 wides. That's great from Tier 2. Andre gets away into Turn 1 nice and quickly. He's the winner so far. There is a yellow flag back here in Sector 1. But it looks like nice and tidy. There's definitely no safety car, that's for sure. Everyone looks to have made it through pretty cleanly. Nice work.
Absolutely brilliant start.
Tier 2. That's why we love you. Great work. Down in the swimming pool, very heavy braking zone here. Obviously everyone cascading and concertinaing a little bit. Just having to be careful there, Jacob, as he got up the back of Keelan a little bit. But managed to avoid him. Couple of little yellow flags popping up every now and then, but also continuing on. So there might be a little bit of wing damage back there, but other than that, no safety cars. Good start, Tier 2. Good start.
30, it looks like, out the back.
39 laps, by the way. Well said by you, Mitch Weatherburn. On point, there is carnage. There is carnage back there. It's Deckers. Poor old Deckers. What's happened, mate? So he didn't have the greatest of qualifying, and he is missing some end pieces off that front wing.
Going to be pitting now to replace that front wing.
Oh, he's in all sorts of trouble. I don't know. I don't know whether he turned his steering wheel off there, but he just forgot to turn. Ah, poor old
He's gonna
Deckers.
have a hard time getting that thing into pit
Oh,
lane
get
now.
it around. Get it around. Oh, I need a wheelbarrow to get that around. Anyway, bad luck, Deckers.
There's 5 cars in the pit lane, so there's definitely some wing damage on some of those cars, I'd say.
Yeah, not wrong. Dale Beveridge, Gerald Chew, Norfolk Hermer, Deckers, and Brian Kavinsky all in the pit lane. So, mandatory stop is done, but now we have to see what sort of tyres they come out on, what sort of strategies they come up with. But for now, it is Andre McLeod who has led from pole, currently in P1. Doing nicely right here in front of Momo and Robert Wenzel, those top 3 drivers having not changed.
Diabol's a little bit.
Yeah, he's alright. He likes to just cruise around Diabol's. He'll take his time. He won't have any wing damage, I'll give you the tip. He'll be right in this race with 0 damage at the end. Very high quality driver, very experienced, and is enjoying his time in the Aston Martin. He's missing his beloved Ferrari, but he's not bad in the Aston Martin, let's be honest. Keelan Dryberg getting the first 3-second time penalty tonight for track cuts as DRS opens its wings for the first time.
Really is only about 2 places you can get track cuts around here, so he's done well to rack up 3 already on lap 3.
So those track cuts doing him nicely. He's the big winner out of the first lap, obviously picking up a bunch of positions really based off the collisions that we saw. So a couple of hands down in the pits there. They've obviously fallen back in the field. But yeah, Keelan, Jesse McLean, Jacob Zavere and Joe Williams all improving vastly from the back of the field as they avoided that carnage.
One of the McLaren drivers just picked up a 3-second penalty as well for track cuts. There's a few guys probably skipping the chicanes to avoid some carnage on those first couple of laps. And unfortunately, that does give you a warning.
Heading past the swimming pool there. Jeez, I wouldn't be going in the pool now. Not up here in the broadcast booth. It is bloody freezing. I've mentioned it before, but honestly, my fingers are freezing on the keyboard here. This is ridiculous. Andre McLeod, first purple lap. 1:13.5. That is good race pace.
It's brilliant. These top 6 drivers have fantastic these first couple of laps. Have been very consistent already. Another car in the pits. Momo's still just sitting behind him. So there's not many overtaking opportunities around here. DRS will be activated, but unless you get a really good run on them out of the last corner, very little chance of getting past them. I'm not sure what this track's like for regeneration of your ERS either. So a few of those guys will be saving some of that for later on, I would imagine.
For sure. Yeah, 39 laps seems like a long time, but as we said, that's only 1:10 minutes the lap time, so they'll pass quickly. Especially as you're white-knuckled, your heart's racing, you're dodging these walls. Time will fly. 10% per lap from the great man Peter Thomas. He is gospel, that man. So if that's what he says, that's what it is. Benjamin, not a fan. He doesn't agree with this. He doesn't like it. Tell us why, Benjamin. What is it? Obviously, a lack of on-track overtakes, but is there anything else that just doesn't really tickle your fancy here? Very picturesque track. Tell me it's not pretty.
Top 3 have jumped away now, out to 3 seconds over Diabol's in P4. So although they're right on each other, they're not holding each other up at all. Just cruising around. Poor old Deckers has already had to pit for a new wing. Malik here in P10. Stuck behind this McLaren. He'd be wanting to get past him pretty quickly.
He will. So there's a good opportunity down here. He is close enough. Oh, he's had to get off the gas there, so Armar just obviously not getting the exit there that he wanted.
He's going for it. I think smart man got out of it there.
Oh, there's a little nudge there too. I hope that was no damage. But yeah, as you said, clearly stuck behind a slower driver is Neil, but he will have to be patient if he wants to get through these 39 laps with all his bits and pieces intact. Stay on board with him because my spidey senses are tingling. I reckon there's a move coming. I reckon Neil wants this as quick as possible. As you go down to turn one,
hard.
Armand defends the inside, entitled to do, but the switchback, the over-under, gets in there. Can he race him up the hill? He does. Completed. Nice work, Neil Alexander. Up into P9 he goes. And now a 3.2 second gap up to Mike Denoldi. So there's that one for you. Dale Beveridge going quickest with a 1:13.3 on medium tyres, if you don't mind.
These guys saying these medium tyres can go to the end now. Do they really last 30-something laps, these mediums? I would assume they would run out well before then.
Well, as you said, the Tier 1 boys have been here, and that is the question and they will want asked. They've seen the medium tyres come on here at lap 3, I reckon Bevo pitted, when that initial damage was, or lap 2, or whatever it was. Let's see how old these tyres are. How do I work that one? Let's go over here. Yes. They are 4-lap-old mediums, so... Yeah, as I said, the Tier 1 boys will be interested to know whether these make them to the end. Jesse McLean has done his patented hard tyre strat. He loves those hard tyres, does Jesse? He will get on them. He doesn't even need an excuse. He will pit lap 1 if he's not got damage, just to get on these hard tyres. He loves them. Oh! Nearly cursed him. Nearly got him.
He loves them. I'm not sure they love him.
That was a great save, Jesse. If you're watching this back, which I'm sure he does, he loves it. That was a great save. Nearly cursed you straight into the pit wall, but he hung on. Keelan Dryberg grabs himself another 3 seconds. I reckon that's his second 3.
I think it is. There's 6 seconds of penalties already on lap 7. Going to be in for a very long night if you don't rein that in soon.
So let's hang on board with him here for a little while. Try and tell us, Jacob, if you know where these track cuts will be, because some people might think, well, it's all walls. How are you getting track cuts? But there are a couple of chicanes and a couple of little different corners you could pick them up. So we went through turn 1. Obviously, there's a big bump there. You can easily cut that if you want to. That'd be a cut.
Coming out of the tunnel, if you do just obviously run straight ahead there, you are obviously... I think if you actually run straight ahead there and don't attempt to make the corner, I think it gives you a penalty straight up rather than a warning. But obviously if you run deep under braking, you can get yourself a track cut there. And then the chicane coming into the last couple of corners, I do believe you can get another one there. So I think there's probably 3 spots around here where you can get your track cuts.
That'd be one there for sure. That one there. That downhill braking zone, if you lock up the brakes and you can't get the car turned in, that'd be probably the number 1 spot for it. And
I'd say
this
right
one here, yeah.
I'd say that'd be your 3rd spot.
Yep, so there are a few places. There's not many, but there is enough to sort of rack them up over time. Not as many as Saudi Arabia last week. Goodness me, didn't we see some penalties last week?
Yeah, at least Saudi Arabia had some runoff area for these guys if you got your braking wrong. There's absolutely none of that round here. These guys at the top 3 are still just very consistent through their laps. But even with DRS, they can't get anywhere near McLeod. Although he is out of that DRS zone now, I think. Just over a 1 second gap.
Well, Momo had DRS there, so he hasn't quite broken it enough yet to be well and gone, but he is a 1.5 seconds up the road now, so starting to pull away now.
Another penalty comes through for Kavinsky. It's his first 3 seconds for track cuts.
Tell you what, Neil was behind Mike before. We might have just missed another overtake there into turn 1. I'm not sure whether Mike made a mistake, but I was watching Neil close the gap over the last couple of laps, and I thought might flick to him when he gets up to Mike, and then all of a sudden he's past him.
We do have a McLaren that's DNF'd.
Ahmad, he's done.
McLaren. We missed that.
We watched him struggling for pace previously, and just not quite having it all together tonight. Poor old Armand Jasmine. So here's our first DNF of the evening. No safety car.
I was about to say, to DNF without a safety car or a VSC around here, I have no idea where he's DNF'd.
Yeah.
Unless he's quit while he was in the pit lane or something.
Can you see 2 orange dots floating around on the track map? I wonder if there's AI out there. No.
I can only see 1, so I think he may have just quit the lobby while in pit lane, maybe. And that's why a safety car hasn't come out.
So
These guys have done 10 laps so far. I'd hate to jinx them, but 10 laps with no safety car. I don't think any of us were expecting that.
No, yeah, spot on. Yeah, no, we've only got one DNF and no safety cars in 10 laps. Great call from you. Hey, that is tier 2. Hats off to tier 2. They're clean, they're close, they're quick. We love it.
Andre's jumped out to nearly a 2-second lead. So I think these guys, Momo and Saul, yellow flag in sector 1. Looks like we do have a Ferrari round there.
Matt Thomas going slowly back there. I would suggest the Alfa Romeo. He's got his medium tyres on.
Really sucks we don't have a replay function here in F1.
100%. I'd love to go back and watch some of these DNFs, but it is what it is. Just got to hope we catch them. Speaking of yellow flags, there's another one. It looks to be the Williams of Tom Maloney. And he has no front wing, that is for sure. Boy, he's in all sorts of trouble. We saw Deckers not quite turn a corner at all before, and I thought maybe he'd done it intentionally, but that's not the case. Tom also struggling to turn the car at all as he's passed by his teammate Jesse. Gives him a wave on the way through on those hard tyres. Enjoying life up there in P7. Tell you what, he's flat out of battery as Jesse McLean. He's used all of it here on lap 11. Oh, that looked like a cut.
He would be the first of the cars that's pitted, wouldn't he? I would say so.
No, we had those 5 that pitted at the start.
Yeah, but he'd be the first car on track so far that's made a pit stop.
Oh, right. Yeah, good call. Right. No, Raj is up there. He's up there. Oh, no, Jesse McLean. Sorry. Oh, he started on the hards. Hang on, he hasn't even pitted.
He has.
How about that? No, not at all. That was a great call. I thought, I don't know why, I initially assumed that Jesse was involved in an incident and had to pit early. I don't know why I assumed that. Love you, Jesse. But no, he has not pitted. So it is Raj Sandhu who has pitted and is now on to the medium tyres up there in P9. How far back is he from the leaders is the question.
Well, Dale Beveridge has pitted as well in P8. He pitted on lap 1 or 2, I think. So
Wenzel's jumped in there. He's on mediums. Let's see where he comes out in comparison to Raj Sandhu. I think he's going to beat him out. He is. So it is Suma first. And Sandhu second out of the drivers that have pitted. He has gone quicker, so he is trying the undercut, and he's got plenty of space in front of him. So that is the strat from Raj. He's having a crack at the undercut here and making it work with the purple lap.
Surely these guys up front on the softs will pit very soon to cover off anything. The yellow flag in sector 3. Plenty of guys now that'll be thinking about their pit stops. Get onto those medium tyres.
Tell you who we haven't put the spotlight on yet is Joe Williams, who's up 13 positions, if you don't mind. Either a combination of errors from other people or a couple of on-track passes. We've seen Mull make a couple of on-track passes. He's up 7 spots. And Jesse McLean we discussed on those hard tyres. Starting on the hards and making up 10 positions. That's a great effort. But Joe Williams up 13. Torterra has pitted. Our leader is in the pits. And he comes out on what I can only assume is medium tyres.
So he gets out just in front of Jesse there. Managed to get out in front of Suma. We have pitted to cover that off. Would suggest that we will probably see Momo in the pits this lap.
Yeah, that's a great call. So it will be interesting to see if he comes in. And where he comes out in comparison to Torterra, who is in a little... Oh, no, he's out of traffic. You're right. He came out in front of Jesse. So he's got space. A little bit of ghosting here for Torterra. What's that about? That's interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Looks like
he is AI. Yes, I reckon he's as you said, either disconnected or desynced or something. But that red X signifies that that man is not connected to his wheel. What does this mean as the 3 leaders are in the pit? Momo See that? Mediums to mediums. That's that bug that I saw with your brother last week. No, it wasn't. I watched it back, but it was. It was definitely mediums. It's a bloody visual bug. Come on, Spectator, mate. Get it together. Andre comes out P1. Well, Andre's AI comes out P1 anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what sort of lap times your AI does for you. Obviously, seems to be relatively quick there because Jesse's not really catching him too much.
It is set to 85. So the AI is set to 85. So it's not quite as quick as Tier 2 pace is supposed to be. But obviously the AI have different pace at different tracks. Like some tracks, 110 AI is much different to other tracks, 110 AI. So I'm not sure where Monaco lands on that scale. But yeah, Torterra's AI doing some good work for him. He's still ghosted. He's still not reconnected.
Fingers crossed he can get back in.
So Suma's jumped Momo in the pits. That's a great effort for him.
Jesse picks up 3 seconds there. That's his first penalty of the night.
Not a bad effort to go 14 laps without any donkey points, Jesse. You're doing well. Keep it up. Up 13 positions. Tell you what.
Tom Maloney goes fastest with a 12-1, I think I just saw. That was close.
Crikey Moses, that was close. Jesse McLean pitting off of the hards.
Anyway, Suma has managed to jump Momo in the pits because I do believe they were the other way around on track. So the undercut has managed to gain Suma a position there. Momo's going to have to fight to get that position back.
So Joe Williams is going to be the last person to pit. Poor old Gerald Chu not having his greatest race ever. He's down a lap and he's done 4 stops. So he's clearly struggling. Poor old Gerald. And Franco has also done 2 stops. So
there's been a few broken front wings there.
Yeah, Tom Maloney also down there in P16 having done 2 stops. So these guys at the front showing you how it's done. No one left on soft tyres. So everyone trying to get to the end now. And yeah, as I said, Jesse McLean has started on the hards and gone to the mediums. So
very surprising considering he only ran the same amount of laps as the soft tyre. So either he just didn't really like the soft tyre here, or maybe he had a bit of wing damage or something, because starting on the hards, I would have expected him to run a lot longer into the race to put the softs on at the end, but maybe he knows something that I do not. But if he has just put the mediums on now, I would say that's a wasted opportunity on the hards, because I would have been running them until a possible safety car or something come out.
It's a Tasty T in chat saying he had wing damage. He'll be watching his stream, and so on the hard tyres, probably looking to go to, as you said, maybe lap 28, something like that. But just didn't quite work out for him. Got some wing damage and thought rather than driving around this track on hard tyres with wing damage, I'll just bite the bullet, get in now, try and get some mediums to stretch out. So
what, Dale Beveridge up here in P4, he has already pitted, obviously. He's managed to gain a few positions out of pitting on lap 2. But whether or not these mediums can last to the end is the question we will be asking. He
was the test case, wasn't he? There's a couple of them, but he is certainly one of them. Joe Williams done 15, but the rest of them done 14 laps on those mediums. So as I said, those Tier 1 guys will be in here, and they'll be looking to know how far can these mediums go. Aussie Donkey! That'd be Travis Murdoch. How are you, mate? Good to see you in chat. We miss you too. Get behind the wheel. What's going on? Why aren't you racing anymore? Get back in here. I reckon Mike Denoldi's just got past Joe on the straight, and Joe picks up a 3-second penalty for his troubles. So, not a good set of corners there for poor old Joe. On his 16-lap old mediums, they're clearly struggling now.
May have used them a bit too hard.
Yeah, he's nowhere near the apex there. He hasn't got the braking performance. The car's just washing away with understeer. So there you go, Tier 1. If you're pushing them, 16 laps looks to be about the spot that the tyres really start to fall away. Poor old Joe having a bit of trouble. He's already dropped nearly a second and a half back from Mike, who only got him at turn 1.
He's really struggling there. I don't know whether he might have some minor wing damage or something, because it's surprising that the mediums would be that bad after only 16 laps. Well, it looks like Andre might be back in. He doesn't have that red X next to his name anymore, so
All right, here we go.
he managed to get back in and not drop any positions. He's very, very lucky.
That's what we like to see. The man's back on track, but he's got blue flags to deal with now. He's coming up to Gerald for the first time. So can Robert Wenzel capitalise on some potential blue flag shenanigans?
What? Coming up through here, we hope these blue flags get out of the way quickly.
Where on earth do you get out of the way? Actually, a blue flag's ghosted. It looks like Gerald's ghosted there, but he's not disconnected. Interesting. Blue flags might be ghosted as well.
I don't believe they are. That might be something new that I'm not aware of, but I don't believe blue flags should be ghosted.
Well, it's definitely been more than 4 corners of waved blue flags, that's for sure. But it's not like Andre's necessarily catching him and putting him under a bunch of pressure either, so nothing too wrong with that, really.
Well and truly in his right to hold it until they get right up onto the back of him. But he is ghosted, as you said, so it's always weird trying to pass a ghosted car driving straight through them.
Suma just biding his time here. He's been within half a second of Torterra this entire time. Just waiting for something to happen. Gerald's found tier 1 pace and he's getting away from Andre McLeod. Go, Gerald! It's not like they're on
After his 4 pit stops or so, I think he said he's made so far, so...
Four pit stops and he's figured it out. That's all it takes. There you go, tier 1. The 4 stop is the strat. Raj Sandhu goes quickest with a 1:12. Those times really starting to creep down now. Joe Williams falling back through the pack a little bit as Diaboles grabs him.
He's really struggling on those mediums now.
Yeah, as you said, he may have wing damage. Let's see if we can investigate that further. It looks like all his pieces are in place there. But you can see the rear end just step out there as he tried to get on the gas. And Neil Alexander now will be putting him under pressure. Is he going to have a go down here? He is! Oh, that's probably a cut.
To pull it up.
But it looks like he's got warnings in the bag because there's no penalty. So Neil getting another on-track overtake done. No overtakes at Monaco, by the way. Mull putting that in the bin. Getting it all done tonight. Nice one down there. Coming out of casino? That's the tunnel that goes under the casino, is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Should have a
to
track
do that
record.
around the outside too.
Ugh.
It's very impressive down there.
Big balls play. Back up to Suma and Torterra here as they chase down these blue flags. But again,
These three have been on each other all race and no overtakes yet. He's still not catching that blue flag though.
He's not, is he?
It's very surprising.
But it's not like Suma's putting him under much pressure to do so either. So maybe Andre is just, you know what, I'll bide me time here until Suma actually tries to show his nose. I might just be happy sitting around here. But that gap up to that blue flag is literally stretching before our eyes, I reckon. He's not interested in passing him whatsoever. Anyway, all power to you.
Yeah, both 2 cars are in front of him are ghosted. So I'd say maybe blue flag cars are ghosted. Because both cars went ghost for a minute there. I guess we just bide our time until they actually try to overtake the blue flags and then we'll find out.
So this is interesting because Gerald is seeing a car in front of him that he's not, you know, Keelan's not blue flagged to him. He's in front of him. He's 4 spots up. But every now and then Keelan's getting blue flags to Andre. So every now and then he's ghosted. And then he pops out of ghosting again. And then he's ghosted again. That must be hard for Gerald. Oh my goodness gracious! Don't do that to me, Gerald! Oh! Keelan's been impregnated. He is. He's going to taste it. He's going to try and have a go through him. But if he pops out of ghosting during that, what happens then? Goodness me, we're learning something new every day. Anyway, Gerald gets it done. Keelan's dropped off there. And
he's let the leaders pass.
He's done the right thing. He's said, all right, there's some blue flags behind me. I don't want anything to do with this. Get out of that. Oh, what have we just watched?
Are we penalising that though? Can you unlap yourself on the car in front by driving through them.
By driving through their ghosted car, yeah. My only fear was that Gerald, as I said, Keelan was popping in and out of ghosting because Andre was only just catching these two. He was sort of in and out of that, blue flag zone. So if Andre managed to catch them while they were going through each other, does Keelan pop out of ghosting and become solid while they're inside each other? And
I don't believe that would happen. You do run the risk, though, of getting right up on the back of that other car, and just as you're about to go inside them, they unghost.
Goodness me, we've seen everything here tonight. We're only 22 laps in. I tell you what we haven't seen is a bloody safety car. Great work, Tier 2. Excellent from you.
More than halfway through the race now without one. They've beaten all expectations so far. These three at the front still just sticking with each other. Who's going to be the first to blink and go for the overtake? Momo's still got 80% battery or so here, so he's saving some battery just following these guys around.
80% for Momo, 60 for Suma, and bloody nearly a full battery for Andre.
95.
He's not
He's
using
doing
it all.
it easy.
He is. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's trying to catch Gerald. I think he knows that there's no overtakes here, and he's just taking it easy. He says he reckons until Suma actually tries to make a move on me, I'm happy just cruising around here with 90% battery. I've got no issues whatsoever. You guys do you. I'm chilling. I got pole position. I know I'm quick.
We've got Kavinsky in the Ferrari that's just DNF'd there.
Yeah, he's dead.
Car.
And he's still across the track too.
Surely that's going to bring out a safety car.
Nope! Nothing!
He disappeared.
No VSC, no safety car, carry on.
When ghosting is on, does that not bring out a safety car?
Was going to make that
Because
exact point.
Because obviously we can drive straight through them. Maybe that means we're not going to see any safety cars tonight.
I reckon you are bang on the money there. I reckon safety car frequency might be a little bit lower because the AI knows that everyone's ghosted. So
I'd be very surprised if we see a single safety car then, if that's the case. Which means the strats on track are in play. If there's no safety car coming out, you can't bank on that to make your pit stop.
Alright, I reckon Suma's got the message here. I reckon he knows. I reckon he's figured out what Andre's doing. He knows that that's a blue flag up there, and he's just starting to show his nose in the mirrors a little bit now. He's just starting to say, hey, I'm not going to let you walk this one over the line here in the next 15 laps. I'm going to start putting the pressure on. Just closing the gap a little bit now. So Momo will also get that message. He'll see Suma starting to wiggle his bum around behind Andre, and he'll say, hey, I want a piece of this. So he'll close the gap now too.
Be really interested to see who attacks first, or if Andre starts to go defensive, or there'll be a bit of cat and mouse going on these last sort of 15 laps, I'd say. I'd say Suma will bluff him a couple of times to see what he's going to do and play the game to see who comes out on top.
Raj just having a good race, cruising around by himself. I'll tell you what, this is Jesse McLean on his teammate. Now these two, they'll be in, I don't know, TeamSpeak or something together. Good mates they are, part of the Kovacs racing crew. And they'll have a race engineer each, a couple of the Kovacs boys in their ears, letting them know what's going on. And I'll tell you what, if I was a Kovacs boy and I was his race engineer, I'd be telling Jesse, I'd be saying, get him. Go on, get him. There's a move here, you can get him.
He's definitely got the fresher tyres, so I dare say he will go for it.
Bit of Kovacs on Kovacs action, that's what we want to see. Is he quicker? That's the question. So Tom's done a couple of pit stops. So he's, obviously had a couple of bits of wing damage already tonight.
So Jesse missed a few braking markers there coming around onto this little straight, so he's dropped a bit of time.
Jesse's got those penalties too, so he wants to get this move done. Otherwise, he will... Well, he just wants to clear Tom by 3 seconds and see if he can grab P11. Tom getting a bit of squiggle happening there. As he hit the curb the wrong way. Jesse goes around the outside. Hello. Whoa. Got it done. I reckon Tom let him go. I reckon he knew. He said, I'm not going to push the issue here. Jesse got up alongside. And he didn't want any Kovacs on Kovacs action. So he let him have it.
Smart to get out of that one.
Yeah, spot on. That's a great call. It's a very intelligent move from Tom Maloney. It's all well and good that they're teammates and friends and whatnot, but that sort of stuff can sort of leave you on track and it gets a little bit heated, so he's made the right call there. He's got it out of the way. So now Jesse gets a chance to extend that 3-second gap. See if he can hold on to and consolidate P11 now. But he's 5 seconds behind Neil Alexander, who's currently sitting in P10.
Gerald Chu picks up a 3-second time penalty there. So what, he's pulled away from these guys at the front, but maybe he's been cutting some corners. Or he's just been pinned 5 seconds for speeding in pit lane.
Oh no, Gerald! Oh, bad to worse.
That's pit stop number 5 for him, I believe.
Yellow in sector 2. It's Jesse McLean. We're just talking him up, and he's made a mistake. He's made an error. Oh no! Don't know if he's got any damage, but he's given that position straight back to Tom.
Like he may have just run deep. His car looks relatively intact.
Yeah, it does look. It's all in there. It's all in good sorts. But now Tom will be saying, well, hang on. If I'm going to let you pass me, you better bloody actually make it stick. He does.
Let him pass again.
Gives him another crack at it. I tell you what, that's very generous from Tom Maloney. Jesse flat out of battery. He is pushing.
It's three and a half seconds down now, so Momo's lost a bit of time somewhere.
Suma pushing in. Look at this battery usage. He is down to 20. He's got Torterra in front of him with just the 80%. So again, as I said, Torterra just cruising around. He knows it's not an overtaking track. He puts his car in the middle and he says, where are you going to go? But Suma wants it. He's using up that battery. He is putting pressure on him now. Momo has dropped 3.5 seconds behind, so he's not part of this anymore. It is Suma versus Torterra. Let's see how this goes with 12 laps to go.
See what, I'd definitely like to be the car in front more than the car behind, especially at this track. Another yellow flag in sector 3.
Oh, it's not Gerald, is it? Oh, it is. Back in the pits he goes. Goodness gracious. He's having a shocker. What pit stop's this now, number Gerald? What is it?
I believe we're up to 6.
Six stops. I love it. He's sticking it out. He's been running out of tyres at this point. They keep putting on old tyres now. I don't know how many wings. Has he got a maximum amount of wings in this game?
He's done 7 stops. Just updated. It would just be slapping on old tyres every single time now. You'd be well and truly out of fresh tyres.
Have you got a maximum amount of wings? Is he going to run out of wings, or is the infinite amount of wings?
Yeah, I think it's an infinite amount of wings. I don't think that's a thing.
Poor old...
But obviously tyre sets is a thing, so you're going out there on worn tyres every time.
Alpine don't have the cash for this. Come on, Gerald. There's a cost cap in place. 7 stops. Great effort. No, but I tell you what, I do love that he's sticking it out. Very easy to just put the cue in the rack and say, no, you know what, it's not my night. I've had enough. Just park it in the pits and get rid of it. But no. Stick it out, Gerald. 39 laps. It's an atrocious track. But if you make it to the end, I love that. You do that, I'm the biggest fan tonight. Driver of the day. If you bring it home, driver of the day, it's all yours.
So he's probably just got his setup slightly wrong, I'd say. You get it wrong around this place and it makes for a very long night. Tell you what, these two guys up front definitely haven't got their setup wrong tonight. Franco's right on the back of Tom here. Bit of a bad exit there out of T1 going up the hill.
Kenneth asking, where's the safety car? We were just talking about it, Kenneth. We reckon there might be a lower chance of safety cars because obviously we have ghosting turned on, which is an OLR staple when we come to Monaco. We turn on ghosting. I think we might do it for Baku too. I might be mistaken there, but someone will correct me, I'm sure. But yeah, we've had a couple of incidents that could have brought out the safety car, but we just haven't seen it.
Yeah, we definitely had ghosting on at Baku last time we raced there as well. But I do believe we still had a safety car when we had ghosting on at Baku. That's weird.
Yeah, yes, we did. Great call.
Dale's been lapped there by Tort. Ghosting is definitely on for lap cars. Simmons just lost a bit of time here in the last couple of laps. He's outside that DRS now. With not much battery life left, it's going to be very hard to get back in that 1 second. But you will get DRS off lapped cars, I also do believe. So if he just sits behind there, he'll gain a few tenths down the straight.
There's a pass on track for Franco. Well, it's not on track, sorry, apologies, but it is for position as Matt Thomas comes out of the pits after his third stop. Franco just gets him. He's under pressure now. Matt Thomas
on the fresh tyres,
well.
especially on the softs. He'll be looking to get back past Franco as quick as possible. 6 seconds up the road to Jesse, so even if he does get past Franco, yeah, it'll be very hard done to catch Jesse in the laps remaining. Down 7 from where he started though, so he'd be very disappointed with that, I'd say.
Oh, there wasn't a lot of room there for that, but Franco made sure there wasn't a lot.
He's pushing his way past, I'll tell you. Push Franco out of the way there to get up the inside.
Oh, that could have been much more deadly than it was. Yeah, don't know if Franco thought, you know what, he's on the soft tyres, not worth it if he's going to be trying to dive it down there, so I might just let him have this.
Tell you what, lap 39, those softs will be going off a bit anyway, so Franco might catch him.
100% battery for Andre. He is just cruising around.
Tell you what, I'm surprised he's managed to gain those gaps out in front and use absolutely none of his battery. Whether he's running a lower wing setup or something, I don't know, but very odd that he's used absolutely none of that battery. They just have not been able to catch him.
He's just staking his claim here in Tier 2 this season. He put it on pole. He's led from start to finish so far. He did very well last week. I think he put it on pole. Not sure where he finished in the race. As we said, Momo coming home in P1. I think the Alfa Romeos went 2-3, but he would have been up there somewhere, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, very early stamp on the P2 Tier 2 Championship. He wants it. He's up and about. Very quick.
Well, Mike Donalty there in P4 is having a great race, up 6 positions. 8 laps to go. 20 lap old mediums though, so it'll be starting to get a bit sketchy, I would imagine.
There's plenty of sketchy tyres out there now. Yeah.
Some penalties coming through. Some of these guys are starting to lose a bit of grip, I'd say.
Sector 2 and 3 yellow. Who's that back there who's stopped across the track?
Williams or an Alpine back there.
Oh, it's not Gerald Chew, is it? I think it might be.
I
think it's Gerald.
It's just DNF.
I think it's Gerald Chew.
After 7
no.
He's hit the wall too hard, I would imagine. Finally.
I can't get onto him because he's DNF, but Gerald, you're still my driver of the day, mate. Oh! Okay.
Ooh.
Ghosted. Right.
Ghosted.
Oh, I'm getting heart attacks. Goodness gracious. Ah! Oh, look at how deep he went under braking there.
Penetrated that car.
Some Discovery Channel stuff here again. We saw it last week and again tonight. Wowee. Back to my original point, Gerald Chew. You are my driver of the day. You tried your best. You went all the way until you couldn't go any further. Driver of the day. It's all yours. 7 laps to go. I don't care. 100% battery.
Guys in Tier 1, take note. I don't think you'll see a safety car tonight.
Yeah, don't bank on it. Make sure you put enough petrol in. If you're trying to save petrol for the safety car, it looks like there's less chance of it. So
he's on yellow with his fuel, so means he's getting very close to not having enough to get to the end of the race.
Is he?
Obviously, he may have banked on some safety cars.
Oh, he is. He is. Well spotted.
He will have to fuel save if he has underfueled, because otherwise he will be in big trouble towards these last few laps.
Excellent observation from you, Yoda. That is spot on. That is a yellow petrol tank. So he is having to coast a little bit. I mean, he's got plenty of battery. If you use the boost button, does it use fuel? It probably does. That's a stupid question.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how easy it is to save fuel in these cars, because obviously this game round you don't have control of your fuel mix, whereas in previous games you could just turn the tank down to lean to save fuel. You don't have that control in this game, so he will have to roll out of the throttle and try and save as much fuel as he can.
Joe Williams has said, I've had enough of those medium tyres. They were nearly 20 laps old, so he's gone and he got softs a couple of laps ago. But he's under pressure here from Jesse McLean. Oh, he gets a little bit happy there on the accelerator, does Jesse. Giving it a bit of a punch, and the rear end stepped out a little bit, so that costs him as they come through the tunnel now. Joe pulls away from him. Jesse completely out of battery, so he is pushing. He's making all these positions count for as much as he can.
Paul Blake's been out of battery since about lap 5. I
Yes, hasn't he?
He's done it very tough around here tonight with no battery life.
He's also on yellow fuel, so some cost-saving techniques potentially underway there. Tell you what, Matt Thomas is close by here too. He's not far away. Also on yellow fuel and also low on battery, but he's got no penalties. So he'll be wanting to stick real close here to these fellas, knowing there's a handful of positions to be made up if he can stay within reach.
No need to overtake, because 17-second gap once you get into P8 here, so Franco's 8 seconds behind. I'd say he's probably looking just to bide his time and just sit behind these guys.
Yellow flag, sector 2, that looks to be Jacob Sevilla. He's still going. He's had a little bit of an incident there, and he has got a bit of a damage on the wing. A bit of a damage. That's not emotional damage. That is wing damage. So I wonder if he's going to try and crawl home for the next 4 laps into the final sector now. Watch him come around. Is he going to dive into the pits here and just... Yeah, he is. You know what? He's already P16. Stuff it, he says. I'm only going to lose 1 spot for this. I'm not driving around this track for the next 4 laps with no front wing. I'm going to come in and change it. Why not? Not a bad shout. Tell you what, there's a couple of close gaps. Now, Robert Wenzel has closed this one. I know he's just been in the mirrors a couple of times and he's just showing his face, but 4 laps to go. He wants it. But Jesse McLean also really close by with Joe Williams. He'll want to get one done as well. And as we said, Matt Thomas not far behind. He doesn't need to make any moves. As you said, Jacob, he just wants to be close.
If you get back to Franco, these guys are only going to lose 1 position to Matt, so they don't want to fight too hard.
Oh!
He's right up on the back of him, though. Really going to try and force him into a mistake here.
Yeah, but if it's hard enough to get 1 overtake done, imagine trying to get 2 done.
Just ask Mullick. I think he's made the most overtakes of anyone so far this race.
Hasn't he ever? I'm glad we caught some of them. As you said, we can't get replays, so I'm glad I was in the right place at the right time for a couple of those. Excellent moves on track from the great man. Doing nicely up here in P7. Not too shabby. He's got no one either side of him. Raj 5 seconds up the road. Joe Williams miles behind. So he'll just be looking to bring this home for a P7. He'll be pretty happy with that. That looks like a fake marina if you ask me. Taking lessons from Miami. That water is still. It looks like jelly.
Coming around here, moving on to the final 3 laps.
Oh, Matt's got one done. He's got one done on Jesse McLean. I tell you what, I reckon he's got that done up the hill there too. I'm sorry I missed that one, because that would have been one to watch. So obviously he got a run out of turn 1, and they would have gone side by side the whole way up that hill. And he got it done. So there's one for Matt Thomas. Neil Alexander grabs himself 3 seconds. Nah, it doesn't matter. He's way up the road. That won't affect him whatsoever. Keelan Dryberg grabs his next one.
15 seconds.
He's got a handful now.
That's a lot of track cuts. See what, that Alfa Romeo of Thomas looks very unhappy in the rear. He's squealing around out of these corners, and it's on relatively fresh softs, so I say he's just trying to get a move on and get past these guys.
Yeah, I still find it interesting that he's actually wanted to... Well, maybe it's not as interesting, because you were talking about Mitch Weatherburn. He loves to get it done on track, and we saw a couple others just like to get it done on track. I don't want these positions via penalties. I'm making moves. But I just think on Monaco, surely, like, you don't want to risk it, do you?
At a track like this, I wouldn't. At any other track, I would go for the overtake to beat them on track. But at a track like this, I'm not sure you'd take the risk. But he's obviously a lot quicker He looks down the inside. He's going to go for it.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, the clench. Oh.
Joe does very well to give him room there.
Absolutely did. That's excellent racing from Joe. Very good spatial awareness. Felt like there was a car there. He gave him enough room without really opening the door for the move. Holds onto it. That's excellent racing between Matt and Joe. Oh, I'll tell you what. Mal's closed right up behind Raj. What's happened to Raj? He was 5 seconds behind him before. What's happened to Raj? Has Raj got wing damage potentially? Because he has closed a 5 or 6 second gap here in the space of 2 laps. And up the hill he goes. Raj lets him have that one, I think. So I think Raj might be carrying a little bit of damage. Because he certainly opened the door there. All his wings are in part. I don't know what's going on there with Raj. Looks like he's all intact, so... Maybe it's just...
managed to not hit the wall. You've done a pretty good job.
Maybe it's just those 22-lap-old mediums. Maybe he just feels like he is totally out of pace now. And thought, you know what? I'm not going to battle that one whatsoever. Mull's got a penalty, so all power to him if he can try and stretch the gap. But we're on to the last lap.
Yes, look at that. Andre's fuel tank is red. He does not have enough fuel. Can he get through this lap without running out? Zoomer obviously wouldn't know that, but Tord is in a bit of trouble if his fuel tank's flashing red. He will be saving extremely hard to make sure he can finish this lap. But I'm not sure he's able to. It'll be very interesting to see how he coasts.
Oh, there's a lot of short
Still
shifting
got
happening here. You're
battery.
right. You're spot on. Oh, he's out! He's out!
He's out of fuel.
So Robert Wenzel goes bang! Bides his time, stays with him, and poor old Torterra's going to lose out here. Momo only 8 seconds back. He is done.
He'll be lucky to get home in. These guys are going to reel him in before the end of this lap now.
Oh, the drama.
He's going to use a lot of positions. He's underfueled the car, and he's made a boo-boo by half a lap.
Goes through him. Ghosting has turned on for the out-of-fuel car. Robert Wenzel! Suma goes bang and picks up P1 on the last lap. If you don't mind, Momo comes home and grabs P2. And poor old Torterra, from pole all the way to lap 39, he will be kicking himself that he didn't put an extra litre in. And there's your lesson, Tier 1. Put enough in because there's no safety cars. Oh no! What's happened?
38 and a half laps of fuel, and there's that. He underfueled, obviously not knowing that safety car was turned off. He was banking on safety cars to save that fuel. Mullock's only just made it home as well. So a lot of these guys, I'd say, were underfueling, banking on the safety cars. We've got Joe Williams is going to run out of fuel as well.
Oh, there's a lot of cars here struggling for petrol. Wowee. There is your lesson, Tier 1. If you're still on board, put enough fuel in, for goodness sake. Joe's going to crawl home. He will do it.
Yep.
I think Neil Alexander came across in P5 but dropped a couple because of penalties. It is Ben Curtis. Diabol's done a very nice race. He was not on camera, which means he's had a good one. P4. Mike Denoldi grabs P5 very nicely on 29 lap old mediums from basically the start of the race, if you don't mind. That's great from him. Oh, the drama, Jacob!
Tell you what, no safety cars. We still got the drama at the end of the race. At the end of the day, that's what we're here for.
Congratulations, Joe Williams, driver of the day. Nice work. But it is Robert Wenzel up there on your podium, if you don't mind. P1! Suma! Great work, mate. Excellent. That is
in the cockpit.
He's put in enough petrol. He has put on the pressure. And he's done all the right things. He grabs himself P1. That's Momo there sharing the podium with him in P2. Momo, another good result this week. So P1 last week, P2 this week. Nice bag of points in the last fortnight for that man. And Andre McLeod, you got to feel for him. You got to feel for him. He was so close. He was halfway through the last lap when the engine just said, no, I've had enough. He hangs on for the podium. That shows you how good his pace was from start to finish. Ben Curtis, P4. Mike Denoldi up from P10, gets P5. Raj Sandhu, P6. Neil Alexander, a pretty solid race for P7. We saw him make some excellent moves. Joe Williams, driver of the day from the back of the field, grabs P8. He's very happy with that one. Frank Frankfurt and Matt Thomas, P10 and P9 respectively. Not sure why I went backwards on that one. Jesse McLean, P11. Tom Maloney, the two Williams boys, 11 and 12. Deckers, P13. Norfolk Hermer, P14. Dale Beveridge, P15. And Keelan Dryberg, P16 with Jacob Sevilla not far behind. Gerald Chew, unfortunately, DNFing after his 7th pit stop, if you don't mind. Oh,
what a way to finish a race. If that doesn't get your heart going.
Deep breaths. Wowee. All right, I'm going to have to go take a break because I need to recover myself, grab a drink, chat. Don't be long because we're coming back with Tier 1.
You can be on Discord, but you have to be muted. No, you literally can't talk because I can't use push to talk because I've got too many other buttons going on. So, okay. Love you. Good.
Oh, yes. Let's get back into it. Tier 1 coming at you. I've got a Monte Carlo biscuit. I've got a cup of tea. Oh, I've just taken a couple of deep breaths.
So we've had enough time to calm down and digest what we just saw in Tier 2.
Tier 2 still on my mind, but I'm going to have to cope with it because Tier 1 about to come at you. Goodness gracious. Still got goosebumps from that last one.
We've got a dry track here for Tier 1.
A few clouds overhead though. Certainly not as picturesque as it was in Tier 2.
These guys head out for their outlap. Surely they've learnt their lesson from the ones that watched Tier 2.
Oh, look. Paige said it right in chat. You have to put the fuel all of the time. I think that was an Alonso reference. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm ruining that. But that's spot on
That's
from
why
Page.
I never, ever underfuel the car. I do not trust myself when it comes to numbers with fuel. I will always just put too much in on the safe side.
Yeah, I mean, it makes what? A couple of tenths difference? It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You saw what happened to Torterra there. If he puts in an extra 2 litres, he had 100% battery. Like, it's not going to affect his lap time. So if he puts in enough fuel there, he hangs on to P1 instead of falling down and sitting in P3. So that's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. ACC, F1, AMS2, doesn't matter what you're playing. Just go and put some bloody petrol in your car. Make sure you've got enough.
Sean Tort's sitting at home kicking himself now. It's unfortunate, but still got a P3, so it is still a good result. But obviously, P1 would have been much, much better.
Mitch Weatherburn first out of the blocks here.
I know firsthand he's done very little practice this week. I think he said he said to me yesterday he's only done about 5 laps or so this week. So he's out here with very little practice, but hopefully that won't matter too much.
Oh, mate, when you're as quick as Mitch is, I think you can just sort of rock up and drive. He will hopefully do his best here in qualifying. He'll be pushing, that's for sure. But if he doesn't, he'll know his race pace is thereabouts. And he saw Joe Williams go from P20 to P8 in the last race. If you don't mind, gracious goodness, that is an excellent performance from Joe. So he'll know. Mitch will know. There is a chance.
Straight
into the 109s.
Jesus. A 109.3.
Oh, welcome back, Tom Malone.
Was only a 10.1, so we've smashed that already. Prix driver's already gone sub 10.
Tom Malone back tonight, not racing last week. Not sure why he was missing. I think he was sick last week, so glad he's on the mend and feeling better. And here he is up here in P3 at Monaco straight away. Beautiful. Love that.
We do have Alex Bowen back as well. He did miss last week due to fitness as well.
That makes me happy. Well spotted. Good to have you back, Alex. The boy from Rapunyip. Rapunyip's most handsome. 4 years in a row. Very clever, by the way. Goodness me. Should have seen him in the Discord. He's right into politics. Only 16 and he knows more about it than my entire family combined, to give you the tip. So I'm interested to see how he goes tonight. Always tricky when you take a week off. You can sort of lose track of how to drive the car and where to put it and whatnot. So it'll take him a little while to warm up, get back into it.
A few yellow flags out there.
Yeah, I think there'll just be people getting out of the way of people on their hot laps, which is what we like to see. I reckon Mohammed's on a lap here, looking pretty tidy. I reckon there might be a bug now that says Sector 1 is purple for everyone too, unless Mohammed Afan is absolutely flying off track here. He had a purple first sector there. I know that we certainly used to have a Sector 2 bug that didn't matter who you was riding on board with. They had a purple Sector 2 and we used to get excited, but we learnt not to. But now it's Sector 1 as well. Oh, that one's around. Who's that Red Bull back there? No, it's not Jared Ellis. It is. It is.
It is.
He loves going around in circles, does Jared? Just doing a couple of doughies for the fans down there. Nothing wrong with that. Just warm the tyres up before he starts his lap. Mohamed Afan into the final sector. It's been a pretty tidy lap. He had a little bit of traffic to deal with, but it was all ghosted, so hopefully he kept his foot in it. A 110.871 for Mohamed Afan puts him at a P13 at the moment. Peter Thomas coming into the pits. Mitch Weatherburn looking like he's going for another flyer now. He's only got 30% battery left.
Off 0.05 off pole position there.
Oh, this isn't the fly, you're right, spot on. He's just finished one. So he went for a second lap. We watched him do the first one. And he's gone for a second one on those signs.
Half a tenth between first and second there.
So do they get into the 108s here?
Impulse did say in chat during Tier 2 a 108.6 is what he's done so far. So I would be looking at these guys to get into the 108s, whether the track conditions allow them to or not.
If I move over here and I see Peter Thomas has done that lap on mediums, I will spew. No, but our man Kenneth here is on mediums. He's having a crack at it. too shabby either. P14 with a 111, low 111. That's pretty handy on the mediums. This is an invalidated lap though, so I think he's going to crawl into the pits. Here he is. But he's the one shirking convention first off the bat, having a crack at the mediums. I wonder if he goes out there on softs and tries to reset. That's Weatherburn. Done 3 laps on those. Not sure whether he tried to push for another one there at the end and pulled out of it. So hopefully he can beat that time, because otherwise he's going to be at a severe disadvantage when he starts the race. Jared Ellis, after that initial spin, has gone bang and put it up there in P4. So he's feeling it tonight.
He'd be very happy with that lap. 109.8. For you guys, they're very close to going into the 109s as well. Looks like you might have to do a 109 to break into that top 7 or 8 here in Tier 1.
Zikai Chu. We saw him in the Ferrari last week. He's moved over to the Mercedes this week. So let's see how he goes here on a hot lap.
Mistake me if I'm wrong. I think he picked up a podium last week. Was he P3 or P4?
He was. Yeah, no, he grabbed it based on penalties. Hon Yi Wang, the one who dropped down a couple, who's not here tonight by the look of it, unless he's changed car and I can't see him. His McLaren teammate Dimitri Forrest is there.
He did pull out at the last minute, I think. I saw in chat that he said at the last minute he couldn't race tonight.
Unfortunate. I do love watching Hong Yi go about his business because he's very quick. But yeah, it was Hong Yi last week who finished in P3, but he had those penalties to deal with. So this man, Zikai Chu, someone, if there's a mate of Zikai's out there, get in chat, tell me how to pronounce it, because I don't want to butcher his name for the rest of the season if I'm not getting that right. But anyway.
I do love when a reserve can jump into a car and grab himself a podium and be up there battling. It's great to see that our pool of drivers runs very deep here in OOR.
He won't be a reserve for very long if he keeps putting in those sorts of performances, that's for sure. But let's see how this lap goes. It's looked pretty hot. He has been pushing, that's for sure, using all the track, hitting all the apexes, so I think it's going to be a good one. DRS open, traction down. Third fastest, 109.5. You said it right, Jacob. He has the pace. He won't be a reserve much longer if he keeps putting them out. Great stuff. Peter Thomas is on a lap before too. So we'll see how this last sector goes for him and if he can prove. He is 4/10 up. He is in the 108s if he can pull this home. This man is absolutely insane behind the wheel.
Are we going to see that 108? Yes, we are. A 108.8. That is an insane lap from Peter Thomas.
Absolutely stamped his authority on this qualifying session straight away. He is half a second clear of the next best. Mitch Weatherburn on his outlap now. Kyle Jackson doing very nicely. Also, Daniel Lambert plonking himself up there. So those boys, the two Williams going 3 and 4 provisionally with 8 minutes to go. Both into the... Look at that! 109.552 from Kyle Jackson. 109.553 from his teammate, Daniel Lambert. And they finished their laps, I reckon, a second after each other. They were following each other around. So how about that for synergy? The Williams boys on it.
They've been practicing together all week, no doubt, to be dead on each other.
So here's old no practice Mitch Weatherburn.
Didn't see sector one time, so it'll be interesting to see at the split how he's going. He's got to find over half a second.
That rear camera is going to be really good in the race, but it was absolutely terrible then. I don't know why I stuck on it. I'm always intrigued looking at the back of race cars. Maybe that was just me. Sorry about that, chat. Anyway, get back on board with the great man. See how he's going.
The split here. How are we looking? It's only a 10th up. That might be good enough to solidify a front row start, but it's going to get him nowhere near that P1. Around the last corner, gets on the power, good traction. What's it going to be? 109.1, so he improves by 2/10. It's very close to those 108s, but still 3/10 off Peter Thomas there in first place.
Miles out here pushing X to doubt. So, well, you're his brother. You're the one who said and can confirm. You live with him. You're the one who said he's only done 5 laps of practice this week, has Mitch Weatherburn. So to pull out a 109.1 with that amount of practice, that's ridiculously quick. I wonder if he could have found those extra 3/10 if he'd done a bit more. If life had not constrained his efforts. Still time too, 6.5 minutes to go. But those same 6.5 minutes are
the
for
wall
Peter
tap there
Thomas.
by Kyle Jackson.
Bit of a kiss there for Kyle.
It's going to cost him.
Going to end this lap. Yeah, struggling to turn the car in there a little bit too. So he's got a damaged wing. Straight back into the pits. He will go.
Still 6 minutes left. Plenty of time to get back out there and set another lap. There's 3 cars there in the 109.5s. We've got a 5.52, a 5.53 and a 5.58. 3, 4 and 5 are all very spicy at the moment.
Mohamed Afan has just plonked himself up in a P10, and I was just about to say, can Danny Wong catch him? But he's not going to do any improvements with that sort of line. Goodness me, how did he keep that out of the wall? Whoa! Crikey, Moses, that's a save.
There.
Yeah, spot on. No second chances. There's no rewinds. If you DNF, you're done. So he's done very well to save that.
Give himself a second chance.
We do have a Ferrari around in Sector 2. Looks to be going very slowly.
Back on board with Zekai Chu in his Mercedes. He's 10th up in this first sector.
Then you're going to find .005 and it'll jump him up to 3rd place.
Love this tunnel. I don't care. Audio up through that tunnel every day of the week.
I want to see you do that with 20 cars going through there, mate. All at the same time.
Oh, I should have jumped off board of Zekai. Just, goodness gracious.
He's run deep.
I was trying to uncurse him and he cursed him. No, that's not what that was. Sorry, Zekai. Oh well, back on the pits he goes. He'll have to have another crack at it. Daniel Lambert's out on track and he's fanging along. This is where Zekai Chu got it all wrong. Daniel navigating that very well. As close as it gets to these walls without giving them a kiss. He is on the edge as Daniel Lambert.
Unfortunately, 2 tenths down though on his best lap.
No, he did. He gave up on it.
Slap a fresh pair of rubber on and go again.
Kenneth Ang doing a very nice lap there in P6. He was in chat before saying, where's the safety car? So he might have cursed tier 1. So if there is a safety car, send your letters of anger to this man.
I really do think that ghosting on is going to stop us from seeing any safety cars.
Any at all.
Which is very well. I mean, if we were going to see them, we would have seen them in tier 2, unless they turn safety car off. I have no idea what settings they were running. He goes straight on there.
Donnie was in chat before as well. Love that when the tier 1 boys come and join us in chat for tier 2. It might be for their own benefit. It might be just to see what sort of tyre strats work and whether you should put fuel in the car, but I don't care. I love that they get in the chat and they keep us company. Donnie was one of them. Nice little short shift down there. Through the tunnel we go. Sound up. Hard on the brakes.
Finds 1.5 tenths to jump Kenneth into P6. Down half a second though.
Yeah, that's not going to be it.
Zico looks like he might be on another one. No, he's not using any battery.
No, I don't think so. He's out of fuel. He's gone up to P3. Was he P3 before? Didn't we watch him spin while he was 109.5? So he spun and then thought...
And then he's just done another flyer maybe and we've missed that one.
Absolutely. Because, yeah, he's red blinking. He's
off second there.
He's out of fuel. He's not doing a lap here, so he's coming in. So he's spun it, cooked his tyres, and then gone big balls and improved by 4 tenths. Whoa! Good on him. Peter Thomas is in 7th gear rolling around there, so I don't think he's flying along. That's not a lap. Mitch Weatherburn, old no-prac weather. Can he pinch pole from Peter Thomas with 1:40 to go? And
he's 2 tenths up on that lap.
Can Peter reply?
2 tenths up in Sector 1. Does need to find a bit more time through the 3rd sector here. Get out of this chicane at the bottom here.
Tell you what, my other question would be is, can Zekai Chu get out of the pits and get that outlap done? Because he is a little smoky for pole. He has been improving. He's got 1 minute and 9 and he's still in the pit. So no, he won't improve. That's him done. He's in P3. Kyle Jackson's just gone to an outlap. So I'm not sure where he is on track, but he's probably not going to make it around in time. But Mitch Weatherburn coming across now. He does improve.
Not good enough for pole though. We'll get one more shot.
No, he's backed out of it. He doesn't want it. So with Zekai Chu sitting in the pits, Mitch Weatherburn with his Q in the rack, this man looks like he's got it in the books. But he's going to have another crack at trying to prove anyway because he's flying. He wants it. Daniel Lambert's just gone up into P4. So Daniel Lambert's not going to beat him. Peter pulls out of that one, so he's done. So it's 108.8 is the time to beat. Dimitri Forrester's not going to beat it. I don't think anyone's going to beat it.
No,
unless someone can improve from the stars. That'll be Pete Thomas on pole with a 108.8. The only man to get into the 108s. Mitch Weatherburn so close but so far, but he'll be very happy with P2 behind Pete Thomas. If he's done no practice, as I said, he'll warm up to the race conditions and get his race pace coming along. He'll tuck in behind Peter and hey, Robert Soup. Jesus, Robert Soup. Goodness me, I'm having a stroke. Suma! Robert Wenzel went from P2 and followed P1 around the whole race. And he managed to snaffle a win. I don't think Peter Thomas is going to underfuel that.
I don't think any of these guys will make that mistake after seeing, I think probably 4 or 5 cars underfueled himself. Impulse in chat saying no rain forecast for this race, which is an absolute shame.
Boo!
You were hoping for something to spice it up a little bit. Got a road tyre sitting on the track there, it looked like.
What? I missed that, was it?
Off to the left. Tom went past, it looked like there was just a road tyre hanging out.
Crikey, I missed that one. So, yep, that'll be it. Peter Thomas, 108.8, P1. Mitch Weatherburn, P2 with a 109.009. And Zekai Chu threatening there in P3, only a tenth behind those boys with a 109.1. The two Williams boys doing very nicely in P4, P6. And Dimitri Forrester being the meat in that sandwich with a 109.5. He's in P5. Jeremy Washington and Tom Malone, P7 and P8. Kenneth Ang and Donny Sadewa
rounding out your top 10 here in Monaco for Tier 1. Not sure whether it's Tier 2 being close or Peter Thomas being ridiculously quick, but it was a second gap down to P13 in Tier 2. Peter Thomas has said, no, only 9 may be within my window here in Tier 1.
If you take Peter Thomas out of it, there's 1.2 seconds between 2nd and 13th, or 1 second between 2nd and 13th. So they are relatively close. But again, as we saw in Tier 2, unless your name is Neil Alexander, then overtaking is very, very difficult around this track.
Hello, Jan Tully! Jan's in chat. Hello, Jan. What did you think of the election, Jan?
Another one who loves her politics. I can't wait to question Alex later on. Get his thoughts on the next 4 years. But Jan Tully might amongst that as well. Welcome to you. Jan, if you didn't catch Tier 2, do yourself a favour. Go back and check out Tier 2. What a race Tier 2 was. Absolute barnstorming finish. High drama on the last lap. But not only that, we had some overtakes at Monaco. We had DNFs. We had cars in walls. Unfortunately, we didn't have a safety car. Well, I say unfortunately, it was a good race without it. So maybe not unfortunately. But yes, Jan Tully, do yourself a favour. Go back and watch Tier 2 over a cup of tea.
I'll just say, these Tier 1 guys bloody posting in chat in between doing laps and that. I don't know how you guys do it. I struggle to keep the car on the track, let alone worry about posting in bloody chat and everything while I'm trying to race at the same time.
Spot on. Yeah, I don't know if they're on their phone, but I struggle to alt-tab the game without blowing up my computer, so I'm sure they're on their phone. They can't be alt-tabbing out. But no, you're right. It's a good effort. But that's just how much brain capacity these Tier 1 fellas have. Some of them probably doing Sudoku on the side during their pit stops.
Let's get ourselves ready for another, 39 laps.
What?
Monaco.
Oh my goodness. Jan Tully, is it really your birthday today? I'm sorry, I'm coming in here and I'm giving you an emoji that you can have that one, and you can have that one. And look, these are just random emojis. These are just for you. Happy birthday, Jan. Get in there, Jan. Sorry. All right, we'll go back to the action now. 75 years young. Happy birthday to you. I won't bore you with the rest of that. Happy birthday, Jan. Absolute pleasure to have you here for Tier 1. Let's hope this race can be the 76th candle on your cake. No, that was a terrible analogy. What was that?
5 seconds we've got.
Do you want to call Tier 1? Down to St. Devote?
Yeah, let's have a go.
You've done very well in Tier 2. Your commentary's been on point tonight, but here we go.
Got our 5 red lights. And away we go. Looks like a great start from the 2 up front. Zekai Chu up the inside of Mitch Weatherburn there into turn 1. He's managed to grab him. The rest of the guys all look like they've got through relatively cleanly.
Bit of contact there.
Single file up through here. They've all done very well so far. Wanafik looking down the inside. Alex Bowen is gonna have a look. He's on the hard tyre. Mitch Weatherburn gets very sideways out of the swimming pool there. Do have a yellow flag at the hairpin.
It's Alex Bowen and Raffley getting elbows out.
Alex Bowen's lost a lot of positions. Looks like he might have some wing damage.
Raffley's come from the back of the field, so he's made a few moves there early. As I said, there was a yellow back there, so I don't know if he's made that off the yellow or if he was the cause of the yellow. But anyway, back up the front we go. Nice and clean from Tier 1 as well. There's no safety car, nothing happening here. Interested to see if anyone pulls into the pits with any wing damage straight off the bat. But Pete Thomas, a second and a half clear of Zekai Chu. He has zipped away. Zekai managing to pinch P2 from Mitch Weatherburn in that first lap.
Again, we've got 4 cars in the pit lane, 5 cars in the pit lane. Got a few guys with a bit of wing damage, I'd say. I was saying for Tier 2, we had 5 cars on lap 1 pitting.
Yeah, plenty of...
Romeo's one of those guys has been caught there.
Plenty of repairs occurring here. Yep.
What a start from Zekai Chu's. Managed to jump Mitch Weatherburn into second place. The beauties of having that inside grid spot, even though you're on the second row. Peter Thomas has skipped away to over 2 seconds already. We know he hasn't underfueled the car.
Oh, here's a
right
chance.
On the back of him here.
Oh, I'm interested to know who smite that bot. Was it JLS? No, too slow JLS. Neil gets in there and goes bang. See you later, bots. Sorry, I love commenting on bots getting smited. DRS is open. Lap 3 has begun. Mitch Weatherburn will have DRS unless any sort of massive error occurs for the rest of this lap. He'll grab it and he'll want to use it to get that spot back that he rightfully deserves with a great qualifying lap to put him up there in P2 with no practice. He'll want to start closing that gap to Peter Thomas if he can, but he won't be able to do that unless he gets past Zekai here, who's had a great start.
You guys have made a good amount of positions off the start there. Lana Peak's up 4 positions already from 18th on the grid.
Tom Malone, back from sickness. Another one who's had a good start. He made a position on Jeremy Washington nice and early, and now he's putting pressure on Kyle Jackson.
DRS open. Oh, he gets squiggly out of the chicane there. In these last couple of corners, he'll be looking to get a run. Alex Bowen with a 3-second time penalty already. Not only has he had to pit for a new wing, he's picked himself up a penalty. Thought Tom was going to have a look there into turn 1. And follow him up the hill for another lap.
Oh!
A little bit wide.
Oh!
I've done well not to end in disaster there.
Oh!
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's still good. I know rubbing is racing, but goodness me, boys, use lube. This is getting unreal. Oh, Tom's in the wall as well. He's pushing, he's pushing, he's pushing.
He would surely have some wing.
Oh, he'd have to by now, yeah. Spot on, Diabols. How was that not death for one and or both of those gentlemen? Goodness gracious. Tom not content with P7. He wants more. He wants blood. But yeah, spot on, Jacob. I reckon he might be carrying a little bit of damage now after all that. And if he's not, he's a very lucky boy.
Well, that front wing does look intact. It's got its end plates on it, so he may have gotten away with that one. Yeah, Jeremy Washington wants a part of this as well. Not managing to find his way past Zekai here. Really don't think you're going to find a mistake from Zekai. Well, we're getting a good train happening here from P6 all the way down to P11.
Yep, all snaking their way down into the hairpin.
Alpine in P12 is closing right up on him as well. 7-car train happening here. This can only end one way.
Yes, Alex, I do. Oh, Alex, I don't know if you watch Tier 2, but goodness gracious, you think I need towel or tissues? Go back and watch Tier 2. I'm telling everyone. I'm telling my family. My mum doesn't give a stuff about F1. I'm telling her to go watch Tier 2. What a race that was. Oh, there's a little kiss on the wall there from Jared. And a little kiss up the bum of Donny too.
Jared's giving him the hurry along. Wants to get past him. He's on those medium tyres there in P11.
Mitch is all over the back of Zekai here. But yeah, if you think there's nowhere to pass on Monaco for Tier 2 guys, these Tier 1 guys won't be given any room whatsoever. Zekai will keep that door firmly shut. Mitch will have to either find a way with a whole heap of ambition. We saw Neil Alexander get one down here through the tunnel, down in this heavy braking zone, but Zekai got an excellent exit there, so he won't be caught down here. So yeah.
Peter Thomas is putting a second a lap on the rest of the field at the moment.
Isn't he ever? He's...
Yeah, after 6 laps.
Yep, he is flying away. The only man to get into the 108s in qualifying.
But
Clearly
again,
has the race pace as well.
Look at that fuel tank though, it's yellow, so he has underfueled the car.
Wow.
So, without a safety car, we could be looking at another situation. If he does not feel safe, he may not make it home.
No one else is yellow, so it might be just the Pete Thomas strat here in Tier 1.
I dare say he's going to use his pace to an advantage, gain a lead, and then just cruise the car home.
They do, see? Did you see that? As soon as they go and put their hands on the wheel nut, the tyre changes colour.
Yes.
And then they pull it off.
Cards on.
So that's weird. Yeah, I'm not buying that anymore. Codemasters, getting a bin with that one.
Are you guys here not trusting the mediums though? You've got 5 drivers on the hard tyre at the moment.
Yeah, it's a lot more than I expected from Tier 1. Clearly they know something we don't.
Alex saying in chat, Haas couldn't afford a full tank of fuel.
Zing! Jeremy wants this spot back. Lost out to Tom Malone on the start. But as we said before, Tom might be just carrying the ever so slight amount of damage, but powering through it, trying to make these softs last until he can put the mediums on. No, Tom goes in now, so he's had enough. So now Jezza gets some space. He'll get to stretch his legs. He's got Kenneth right up his rear. Kenneth looking up the inside there. No, pulled out of that one. Good call.
Daniel Lambert from P4 has decided to pit as well and put those mediums on. So he's going to look to undercut Zekai and Mitch. He gets a bit of space when he comes out of pit lane, which he has. He can put a good few laps in.
Oh, yellow flag, sector 3. There's Ethan Small is around back there, I think. No, scratch that. Might be Raffley, I think it was. Yeah, so into the pits he comes. Not the best start for him. This will be his second pit stop, if I'm not mistaken. That is a very sick-looking front wing. So onto the hard tyre he goes. This will indeed be his second stop. More than half the field having completed one at this early stage of the race.
Who's going to be the first to blink out of these two for a pit stop? Neither of them pit this lap.
A lot of short shifting happening there for Mitch. He's gone very early on those gears just to get the traction, and then the rear stepping out a bit there too. So not quite as happy as he'd like to be on these soft tyres.
Alex Bowen grabs his second time penalty of the evening. Not having a good time back there. The guy tags the wall on the inside there at the apex.
Tell you what, that timing board's a Christmas tree there with the position changes. Only Peter Thomas obviously holding his position up the front. And Mohammed Afan's just held P12 while everyone else has been in a jumble around him. Interesting that Nick Randall has gone up nor down 6 positions. He's just managed to hold his position while also gaining 6, I think. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway.
Timing board playing games with him.
Speaking of the great man, on board with him, he's chasing down Kenneth Ang. He's not far behind. Poor old Daniel Lambert and Kyle Jackson. I know Kyle's completed a pit stop. I think Daniel Lambert's had an accident as well, because those boys dropped down a handful of positions. The Williams fellas after a...
Sorry to cut you off. You've got Zekai and Dimitri in the pit lane here. P2 and P4. Interesting to see where they come out in relation to Lambert.
And that gives Mitch Weatherburn the chance to stretch his legs. So now he's got no one in front of him. Can he put down a few good laps here? And maybe cut into the gap that he's got from Peter Thomas? I don't think so. Pete's flying along. He's on fire tonight.
Lambert has managed to jump Zekai, and Dimitri's managed to jump him as well. So Zekai may have had a bit of wing damage he needed to fix in that pit stop, because he's lost out 2 positions. And he's lost out by quite a long way compared to Dimitri there, so I dare say he's had to change a front wing in that stop.
Oh, I don't know if Mitch has made an error. Mitch has made an error. He's dropping back through the field. I watched his time to Peter go from 9 seconds to 14 seconds very quickly.
He has, he's back there. It looks like he's got no front wing. He does, he has no front wing. So he's made a big error somewhere.
So there you go.
This lap.
It pays to practice. I reckon we might have missed a move there. Jared Ellis was behind, and now he's gone past there. On hard tyres too, by the way. He's got a good exit and gone past Alex Bowen on track. Good little move.
Plenty of time to make up for your mistakes around here, but changing a front wing is going to cost you a lot of time in pit lane.
So yeah, Mitch dives in there now. He'll come out probably P13, P14. Oh, just going to fall back there. Jeremy doing very nicely up here. Being chased around by Kenneth Ang. Nick Randall not far behind.
Mitch has unfortunately come out there in P16. 16. He's got a lot of work to do to catch himself back up. I was going to say, this is one track that I'd always turn traction control back on for. I know some people think it's a bit taboo and they don't like to run it, but when your chance of spinning ends your race, it's always good to err on the side of caution.
I'm the opposite there. I think because there's so many slow corners, a lack of traction control can actually make you more on this track than in most other tracks. So I always left it off and just trusted that. And also because I never used it, it felt so different to have it turned on. I wasn't actually, comfortable in the car that I was driving. It felt different. So for me, I always left it off, hoping that I could, make it through the 39 laps without, getting too greedy on the throttle. Yeah, it never really worked. I always made a couple of errors and had to change wings a couple of times, but yeah, I never turned it on. So we've seen Peter Thomas pit, or have we? He is. He's on 0 lap old mediums. Yep.
That leaves us with, 2 cars in the field left to pit, I believe. Kenneth Eng and Nick Randell are probably the only guys left to complete their pit stop.
Jeremy Washington was in P1 prior to Pete Thomas pitting, and he's down there in P8 after pitting. So that shows you the gap that Peter has on the rest of the field. There's a lot of cars in between this man and Jeremy Washington. Dimitri Forrester doing pretty well for himself, has moved up into provisional P2 with Kenneth in the pits now. Nick Randell still out there on track, cruising around doing the Bender Strat. Well, I say it's the Bender Strat. He's on medium tyres. He's entitled to be out there on those 12-lap old mediums. No worries. So Raffley snags himself 3 seconds worth of penalties.
Interested to see if he gets out of the way for Peter Thomas. He obviously doesn't have to, but you don't want to lose too much time when you're on a different strategy as Peter gets past him. So
poor old Mitch is in a bloody train back here now that he's come out of the pit stops with this wing. He is stuck. That has not gone well for him whatsoever.
The rear of that car does not look happy either.
That's the other part about not practicing. You may not have a pit. You may not have a bloody setup ready to go. Not confident in the car. Would Mitch be the sort of person who turns traction control on?
No, he runs. I know he turned all assists off when this game come out. Usually he would run traction control and ABS, but I know when this one come out he turned all assists on.
But even for Monaco?
Yes, he would leave them off. I know.
Good man.
He did say to me when the game come out he was not going to turn any assists back on.
Good man. Love that from you, Mitch Weatherburn.
As Mullick in chat seems absolutely stoked that the race has gone south for Mitch.
He wants him to succeed. He's telling him to lick it. He reckons he wants to lick it and send it. That's fine. No safety cars yet. Jesse McLean. None of that here in Tier 1. These boys proficient in the art of safety. They need no car to show them how to perform it. Although we couldn't believe there wasn't one in Tier 2. There was a couple of deaths. Safety car staying at home today.
There has not been any safety cars yet. Like you boys in Tier 2, it's been very clean so far.
Safety car out of fuel like everyone else. Spot on, Firelord. Well said. Speaking of out of fuel, how's Pete Thomas going? He's still yellow. So what does yellow signify? Is that to say that you've got to be careful?
So yellow means that you don't have enough fuel to make it to the race. Once that tank goes red, it basically means you're not going to get to the end of the race. So yellow's sort of like your warning light, as if to say you need to start saving fuel or you are not going to make it to the end. Once it goes red, I'm pretty sure you are an absolute goner and you are not going to get to the end of the race.
Yeah, so it's not telling us that he's out of fuel right now. It's just saying that if you don't take it easy over the next 24 laps, you will be cutting it very fine.
Yes, correct.
Well, there you go. As you said, that's the strat. He looks like he's the only one pulling that strat. He's got the yellow light, whereas we've sort of run through the field before and no one else is running that yellow light. So
if he's watched all of Tier 2 and then he runs out of fuel...
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
That'll be the mistakes to end all mistakes.
He won't hear the end of that from me. That's for sure. I'll give him one. How do you do that? Anyway. Here's this camera that I like. There's no one behind. Great camera. Ah.
Looking
Anyway.
on the timing board, there's gaps between every car. There's not too many trains happening at the moment. Everyone seems to be circling around by themselves.
Except for poor old Mitch Weatherburn, who's found himself in the only train on track.
12 and 13.
Jared Ellis jumping back into the pits. Wonder if that's intentional.
Yeah, there's another wing for Jared.
I'd love to know across both tiers how many front wings we've changed. Been a lot of money spent so far.
Interesting that the guys at the back who have done all those pit stops are also the ones holding on to the penalties. So perhaps this track being the one where really demonstrating you've got to put the practice in during the week. You've got to put the laps in to make sure you not only keep all your front wing in place, but you also manage to avoid the penalties. We have a yellow flag in Sector 3. That looks like it's not. It's Danny Wong. Danny Wong's out. Here's DNF. Are we going to see a safety car?
I dare say if it's not out, no,
Not
I'd say
by
no.
the look of it. No, everyone's just travelling through him in Ghosted. We're about to come across the great man here. There he is. Oh, poor old Zeke. I thought, oh goodness, what's this? He balked. He panicked. But no.
Thomas is definitely fuel saving because he's only 3 seconds in front now. He was 10 seconds before the pit stops. So he is definitely trying to save fuel in that car.
stop that page.
How's Nick Randell going here?
Cruising up behind Pete Thomas. He's doing very nicely.
Silver in chat saying, how is that not a safety car? Because they have ghosting turned on, I'm pretty sure the game recognises that the crash car is ghosted. Everyone can go through, therefore it will not release a safety car.
Yeah, there you go. So that might be a lesson for the stewards. I don't know if Deckers is in chat, but I'll make a note for him later that maybe next year, well, I say next year, the next time we do Monaco, we can turn ghosting on, but we turn the safety cars up. Because at the moment, they're only on a sort of a medium setting. There's a couple of different settings you can play with the safety car. But at the moment, they're sort of only on a medium setting. So maybe we can turn ghosting on, but we turn the safety cars up. And that might make it a bit more realistic. Notes for later.
Lambert here. I reckon if ghosting's on, it doesn't matter what level you set the safety car at, I'd be pretty confident it would not come out.
Which Peter Thomas would be totally okay with. He doesn't want anyone getting a free stop behind him. He's very happy up there with his 2.5 second gap.
He needs a safety car to save that fuel. Tom Malone all over the back of Mitch here. Pretty sure I saw Tom post the fastest lap of the race a couple of laps ago. So he has some pace.
Oh, goodness gracious. He's going to hand that one back, I reckon. He did. That's good of him. But that's cost Mitch Weatherburn a lot of time. He was right up behind Wanafeek, and now he's 2.5 seconds back and may or may not be carrying damage. So,
Very surprised if there's no front wing damage on the car there.
yeah, not the first time we've seen Tom send one tonight. Speaking of licking stamps, this man, he's got his whistle wet. Coming back from a week off, he's frothing at the bit.
Eyeballs in chat saying you can definitely get a safety car with ghosting on. We just seem to be very unlucky tonight. As Alex Bowen DNFs.
Oh, no.
No, Alex. Ah, that hurts.
Is it going to give us a safety car? Does not look like it. It would be out by now, I would assume.
Yeah, not even a VSC, not even a fart, not even a wink. Race director's gone home.
Oh, Mitch Weatherburn's grabbed one for ignoring yellow flags. That's stiff. Oh, that's stiff. People are driving through ghosted cars. The safety car's going on holiday, and this man's getting 5 seconds for ignoring yellows. Oh, no.
Tom Malone's passed him though, so I'm not sure how he's ignored yellow flags. Unfortunately, we didn't see that, so we can't comment on it too much.
Bad to worse for Mitch Weatherburn.
It's a shame to see Alex DNF after missing last week due to illness. I was hoping for a good result for him.
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully he jumps in chat here and we can say all that. Whoa, a bit of Ferrari on Ferrari action here.
Together.
So Donny on 12 lap old hards and Tom Malone on the fresher mediums.
Gives him the old hurry up. He wanted to get past.
Tell you what, we could stay on board with Tom Malone all night. I reckon the action's happening with this man. Welcome back to Tier 1 after a week off. He's got the elbows out tonight.
Nick Randell up at P2 still has not pit yet. Or did he pit lap 1?
Mitch Weatherburn gets one done up the inside there. Nice work. So makes one back. Pinches that from Donny Sadewa. Yoda's quiet. Why? Since when? I haven't changed anything. Oh, goodness. I don't know if I can fix that for you. Hang on. Give me a second. You're going to have to be very patient then. Because you're going to lose for a little bit while I go in here. Just have a look and see whether Jake... Look, yeah, I'll do that. I'll crank him up. There you go. Let's try that. So hopefully the dulcet tones of Jacob Weatherburn come back to you in their purest and loudest form.
3-second penalty for Kenneth Egg.
So we're talking before how there wasn't any trains. There's a couple forming now. Tom Malone now putting pressure on one feet. And that little battle up the front there starting to develop as well as Lambert closes in on Zekai Chu. Zekai Chu right behind Nick Randell, who, as you discussed, hasn't pitted yet. So he'll be falling backwards on those tyres pretty shortly.
I think he may have pitted. His mediums are 20 laps old. We're on lap 21. I'm not sure how that works. Has he pitted or...? No, he has not. So he still has to make his pit stop. So he's doing well to battle with these guys up front on 20 lap old mediums. Yes, he'd be probably trying to get him to lap 27 or 28 before he gets those softs on. I appreciate all these guys in chat speaking backwards in the name of Yoda. Thank you very much.
Good the volume is now. Get out of here, you Kovacs boys. Troublemakers, a lot of you. Couple of penalties coming in there. Tom Malone and I think Warnefeek before him.
Potentially.
So those two chasing each other around in battle. Kenneth Eng jumps into the pit, so these guys will grab a position from him. Tell you what, Tom is flying around tonight. He is pushing for sure. Warnefeek though, up 8 positions. Up 9 now that he grabs that one from Kenneth Eng in the pits. Doing very nicely for himself.
Doing fantastic to defend from Tom Malone here. He's running out of battery. He's got that red light flashing on the back.
So is Tom though. He's down under 10% as well.
Still trundling around there in P4. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out after he pits. Whether being caught up with these top blokes is going to cost him too much.
Yep, he stays out there. He's going to have some bloody fresh softs when he gets onto them eventually. That's for sure. He will only have to do sort of 15 laps or so. Unless he really stretches them out. What can he do? He's got the two Williams boys behind him.
He'll probably pit within the next 4 laps or so, I'd say. You want as much time on those softs as you can get, obviously without them going off, to make this bold strategy work.
Hello there. That's it. That's all I know from Kenobi. I never watched Star Wars. Just seen the meme.
Oh, mate, I'm disappointed in you now.
Really? You a big Star Wars fan?
I'm a Star Wars nerd, mate.
Right.
And hence the name Yoda.
Oh, is that like? Well, I guess I should have probably. Yeah, oh, my bad.
I've got nearly every Star Wars collectible you can have.
Really? All right. We'll have to chuck that up in the Discord. I want to see that.
I've got VR headsets. I've got lightsabers. I've got the works.
Goodness me. All right. Okay.
Fix himself in 3 seconds.
I've never watched one in my life. I've seen, snippets here and highlights there, and obviously they're very popular movies, so you can't avoid them. And I know like the Darth Vader theme, and I know him and his. I know enough about it, but I've never watched one. All right, well you'll have to educate me one day. Here's Daniel Lambert on his. Nick, he's going to go up the inside of Nick Randall on those tyres, and Nick Randall opens the door and allows him through, which is a good move, really.
Oh, Jackson can have a look next.
Oh, Daniel went deep there.
Yeah.
Did he touch him? Is that what you saw?
I think Nick may have given him a little touch there.
Right, okay. I just thought Daniel went deep, but you might be right. Nick obviously, on those tyres, may not have full control of his car any further, so maybe that's what we saw. Jeremy Washington not far behind here too. He's sniffing around. Tell you who hasn't been on the camera in a while is this man right here. He's just going about doing his own business. He is in control of this race.
His fuel tank's got yellow, so he's saved enough fuel to get to the end, and he stretched his lead back out to 6 seconds.
Imagine that. Imagine being able to save fuel while also extending your lead. Goodness me, this man is in control.
I do apologise for ever questioning his strategy.
Don't doubt the great man. That's it. He was never in doubt.
I do.
So we'll come back to him later on, but he's just got 14 laps to go and bring this one home.
Got a nice little battle here for 5th, 6th and 7th. Nick Randall still obviously has not pitted yet.
So we watched Daniel Lambert get past him before, and he's gone a second and a half clear already. So he's a little bit up the road there, and now these two will be asking very politely, Nick, can you bugger off into the pits? And he'll say, no, I'll go when I like. Tom Malone.
Eyeballs will be able to tell us, how much time do you lose in a pit stop here? Where is Nick Randall going to pop back out? I don't know what the pit delta is for this track.
Weatherburn's recovered pretty well here to be up in a P11, and he's just watching this develop in front of him. Tom Malone obviously been involved in a few incidents already tonight, and I think Mitch will be aware of that because one of those involved him, where he sent it very deep up the inside of turn 1. So Mitch will say, I don't want anything to do with this, I'll just allow Tom and Juan to get their business happening on their own, and I'll pick up the pieces that remain if that is what is to occur.
It's 20 to 22 seconds for a pit delta. Nick Randall's going to find him coming out right in the middle of this three-way battle here for 9th place when he finally does decide to pit. I think those soft tyres last about 10 laps. If I was Nick, I'd be pitting within the next couple of laps as Tom Malone grabs himself another 3-second penalty. That takes him up to 12 seconds total now. That's going to cost him big at the end of this race.
Yep, the last thing that man wants now is a safety car, because that'll group the field up, and he will plummet to the back of the field. So, yeah, the last thing he wants to do is cause it too, but he's, as I said, he's been involved in a few little tiffles tonight.
Nice little battle here, brewing for P2.
Yeah, this has been on for a while. Dimitri's, I think he's doing the Andre McLeod strap from before. He looks to be just cruising around, really in control of his own pace, knowing he probably won't catch Peter Thomas. He'll just plonk his car in all the right places, and he'll ask Zekai to make a very intentional pass, which we haven't seen from Zekai. I haven't seen much of him. He's obviously pretty new to OR in the F1 series, so I don't know what sort of driver he's about, but he's clearly quick. So we'll have to see if he's got that in him. Tom Malone drops back a position as he goes into the pits. So he'll jump on the softs, fall back through the field a little bit. He's grabbing a front wing too, so he may have had a little error there at some point. Doesn't serve the 12s. So backwards through the field that man goes. Kyle Jackson doing nicely, but he is under severe pressure from behind. Jeremy Washington, less than a second. Nick Randall also thereabouts, but has been now passed by that group. I'm
Really
sure
needs
he'll
to
want to dive into the pits shortly, yeah.
Needs to get off those mediums and get those softs on. With 11 laps to go, they'll easily get home, and he does. He pits this lap. Mitch has made his way back up into the top 10. As Jared Ellis sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:10.6 on those fresh soft tyres.
Nice one. He'll be happy with that. If he can pinch a point from back there in P16, he'll happily take the fastest lap. Peter Thomas doesn't have that pit window to sneak in there and get a free one, so he won't get it back. But yeah, as you said, Mitch Weatherburn now up into the top 10. He's obviously past Tom Malone, who's dived into the pits, and now he gets to have a crack at closing the gap to 1 feet, seeing if he can have that position. He's only got to make 2 seconds on 1 once he gets past him with that very unfortunate 5-second penalty he managed to pick up. He may or may not lodge a little protest with the stewards and see if he can get that waived, but I'm not sure how that'll go. It'd have to be pretty erroneous to have that removed.
Tell you what, I think he'd be happy to get back up there in the top 10.
Ooh.
One of Feig has a moment coming onto the straight there.
And I thought Mitch might get a go on it. He does. He has a crack. We saw Neil Alexander get one done there, and goodness gracious, he's made it work, but it wasn't pretty.
He's done very well to pull the car up there.
Tell me about it. He was nearly at right angles. Oh, what if he's gone around? Oh, no. Put the camera on the man, and he's gone around. I'm sorry, Juan. Oh, he's in trouble there, too. Please be ghosted. Oh, he's
Mitch
coming up.
grabbed himself a 3-second time penalty there as well to take him to 8 seconds. Those medium tyres would be screaming now.
So, does he box? He does.
He does.
Bugger these tyres, he says. Don't know if he's got any wing damage. It looked like he managed to keep it
Out of the wall predominantly.
So, maybe just a tyre change here for poor old Warnefeet. Unlucky.
He's not going to lose out too much, I'd say, with Ethan being 50 seconds back there. Jeremy's all over Kyle Jackson here. Got a bit of battery in hand.
Did he smash the wall? Oh, alright, Dieball. Sorry. My bad. Oh. Yeah, I mean, sitting here watching the action with my eyes closed, apparently. So I didn't see it.
It
My
did look like he hit the ball to me.
My apologies. Yeah, as you said, Jeremy's sweating on Kyle Jackson here. Kyle's out of battery. Jeremy's not out of battery, but he didn't. Oh, a little kiss on the bum there.
Oh,
Jared-
Jared Ellis takes a ghost car right through there. Oh my God.
This ghosting has been giving me heart attacks all night long.
And he just stays posted, obviously, because he's down there in P16. So Jared Ellis can do whatever he feels like around these two cars.
Yeah, he's on soft tyres, so bugger it. Off you go. Ghosting is so silly. Look, it has. I don't know. You guys go back and watch Tier 2, which I'm sure you will. And we had some very, very interesting scenarios play out with the ghosting. I can't remember who was lapped, but it was Gerald Chu who was the lapped car. And the leaders were coming up to Gerald Chu. Oh, go back and watch it. Sort of midway through the race when Torterra was coming up to lap Gerald Chu. We will chat about it in the stewards box midweek because it is an interesting concept, is ghosting. And everyone behaves differently around ghosted cars. And it created some excitement, Jacob, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It sort of scares you in a way because you're not, like, as spectators, we're not expecting the cars to be ghosted. It leaves us clenching a little bit when you see them catching up to each other.
Oh, clenching is the word. Goodness gracious. My poor sphincter. Good word, that. It's got a good ring to it.
I know Jared's not really racing him and being ghosted, he is in his right to do whatever he likes, but coming from a guy that comes up on ghosted cars every now and then, it is very off-putting when a ghosted car is around you. And although you're not going to hit them, their movements can distract you quite a bit, especially if their car is inside your car at the time. It does get very, very hard to hit your braking points in that, because you do get worried about the cars, even though they're ghosted.
What's going on back there? There's some ghosting happening back there. I don't know if that's Ethan Small being chased around by Jeremy and Kyle, and he was half ghosted there for a bit too. And obviously Ethan back there in P40 and his blue flag to these fellas. You can see the blue flags waving over the fence. So this may be another example of just that.
I know OOR has a rule where you've got to get out of the way in 4 corners, but being ghosted, does that still stand? Can he just keep racing his own race and not lose any time, even though he's being blue flagged?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. Again, Diabol's in chat, Decker's both in chat, both of them stewards. They will come to the rescue here and tell us. I don't think that being ghosted waives the blue flag rules. You should still have to. But, I mean, it's Monaco too, so where the hell do you give up to a blue flag here? It's like
Exactly
Bathurst.
right.
There's friggin' nowhere safe to do it. So is it better to be predictable and continue on at your own race pace and allow people to pass through you? I don't know. One for smarter, more intelligent people like Deckers. None of my business, that's for sure.
I'm glad I'm not a steward.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I don't have to worry about that. Zekai will really want P2 here from Dimitri. He's got quite a lot of battery left. It's a bad run onto the straight there.
Yep, this is the battle for P2. They won't be catching Pete Thomas. He is well and truly gone into the sunshine. And we know he's not going to have any Blues flag shenanigans. So, barring any fatal error from Peter, he's got this one in the bag. So this is the battle for maximum points behind him. Down into this ridiculously tight hairpin they go. Different lines through there. Dimitri taking a fair bit of that curb. Zekai going a little bit wider. Give me this camera again. Give it to me. Oh, see, that would have been a perfect spot for that
Missed
camera.
chance, mate.
I love that camera, and it was a perfect spot for it. Didn't give it. Anyway, whatever. Is what it is.
It's a bit squiggly, Zekai, coming out of a few corners. Struggling to get the traction down.
Yeah, he's spot on. He seems to really catch him. I don't know if he's running less wing, but he seems to catch him up towards turn 1. But throughout the rest of the track, well, he's probably catching him up turn 1 based on DRS, isn't he? Yeah, he's been closer than this, though.
Diabols, yes. Kenneth did pit again. Unfortunately, he had a little bit of a moment.
Yep, there he is, the great man. He's ghosted as well as they tear up the hill here. Whoop, yellow.
He does the right thing and gets out of the way there.
DNF for my man Nando. Oh no. 2 weeks in a row, poor old Nando's come afoul of the walls.
Coming out of the tunnel there, he's DNF'd inside the tunnel, so that's a weird place to manage to hit the wall.
Oh, locking the brakes there is Jared. Brakes locked. They are. No, I'll stop. Give
Hey,
up.
right, so you've got a moment here where Wana Feek on fresh soft tyres is laps down, but he's right behind this battle for P2 and 3, and because he's ghosted...
Is he?
Where is he?
Oh, no, it must be the other guys. There is a car right behind him. Well, there was, unless he's had a moment.
Yeah, there is a ghosted car back there. Who is that? AlphaTauri of some description, perhaps.
No, it'll be Kenneth, I think.
Oh, yeah, we did just watch them pass Kenneth, didn't we? Yeah.
Oh, now you give me the...
Goodness gracious. Just let me choose the camera angle. Goodness gracious, I'd need 10 hands and 47 fingers if I was going to choose the camera angles. It's hard enough controlling all the drivers. Nah, really enjoying it though. Hopefully better this week for the YouTubing pleasure. Hope you guys out there enjoying the broadcast. If you are, like and subscribe. Please get your thumbs up. Poor old Max hasn't had a feed in weeks. Get around him. Jan's going to get around him.
Soft tyres here, he's decided he wants to drive inside Zekai. The ultimate slipstream when you're inside the other car.
Yeah, how does slipstreaming work if you're inside the car? Where does the slipstream start? Where does the physics on that one... Oh my god.
As he goes straight through him.
It's clearly on fresher tyres. What are these tyres? Because he's fanging along. He's doing great. That's gap. Oh my god. Detail. Tyre. Get a thing. Absolutely. Smack on fresh tyres. We just watched him come out of the pits.
So
As
yeah,
Tom Malone picks up another 3-second penalty. And that takes him to 15 seconds now.
Well, that's just it, Mal. We're talking about it. It's been happening all night. As I said, you go and watch Tier 2. There was that. What do you want him to do?
Zekai's lost quite a bit of time to Dimitri here. He would have been put off by Kenneth just driving straight through him. It's very, very off-putting when you have a lap car just pop up inside you.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you should.
When they're racing, are they not expecting this to be on stream? If it's not on stream, they don't get caught.
Nah, you'd expect everything to be on stream. You've got to drive like everything's on stream.
But it's been happening all night, these lap
He's been
cars.
given the word.
Gets out of the way.
Someone's jumped in chat and said, hang on, what you're doing ain't it. But again, like, this is why maybe we should turn ghosting off. Get the safety cars back, turn the ghosting off. It's not like people are DNFing all over the road. They're sort of tucked away, and you've got to... That'll force our top quality drivers to respect yellow flags instead of just tearing through at the speed of light. I reckon you turn ghosting off. Because Kenneth is on...
Unfortunately, in this track, though, you do have the unfortunate thing of what happens if you get a blocked track and you get 12 cars DNF, which is obviously what we're trying to avoid, because that's no good for stream.
No, yeah, I know it's a tricky battle. But I mean, I feel for Kenneth here because, as I said, he's on brand new softs and he qualified in the top 10. He's clearly got the pace. Like... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We just expect him to sit behind when he's clearly a second quicker. So yeah, it's a stiff one. It's again questions for much more intelligent people than you and me. I'm sure.
But he's done the right thing. He's let them back through and he's let them continue their battle for P2. Hopefully Zekai can get up on the back of Dimitri again with only 2 laps left. Peter Thomas is 15 seconds clear.
Yeah, he's gone, isn't he? Where is the great man? He's coming up with a ghosted car. Done fine. It's fine. Whatever.
He has cruised all night.
Absolutely in control of this race. Yellow flag, sector 1 and 2. It looks like they're all moving again. But yeah, this man here coming on to the penultimate lap now. Using all the track, using up his boost now. He's just showing off.
Tell you what, Nick Randell, where did he start? He's come out in P8 after his pit stop on those fresh soft tyres. He's up 5 spots.
Yeah, great result.
So that strat has worked wonders for him with the battling at the back of the pack.
Dimitri's had a pretty good race too. He's very quietly gone about his business as a couple fell behind, and now once he got into this position up here, he's just held off Zekai Chu pretty comfortably. Zekai has been threatening without really ever pushing him. Good drive from Zekai too, by the way. Podium last week. Looks like he's going to repeat that tonight. But yeah, Zekai's been in his mirrors, but Dimitri hasn't sweat it. And he looks like he will bring it home. Unless Zekai really, really gets the fangs out here in these last 2 laps. Just Kenneth does it to us again. This comes out of nowhere. It's John Cena.
Tom Malone with another 3-second penalty.
Goodness
I don't know
me.
how you get before you get disqualified at this track.
Tommy, how many is that now? 18 seconds.
He's going to the back of the field, Nelly. Well, not really. He's got quite a bit of gap to Jared, but that's a lot of track cuts for a track that's hard to get them on.
So last lap now. Can Zekai track down Dimitri Forrester? He's about a second behind now. I don't think so. It'll be Peter Thomas. He'll roll around one more time. Just cruising along, doing his business.
Fuel's red. Peter's fuel is red.
Oh! Oh!
Is he going to make it to the finish line?
Oh!
Has he
Not
made
again.
a move? This is interesting.
Not again.
It looks like he's okay. You'll know yellow flags will pop up straight away if he runs out.
His revs are still pretty high.
He may have timed this perfectly.
Yeah, 17 seconds clear. So even if he was to run out here, he'd still crawl over the line. It will be Peter Thomas absolutely calculating the fuel to perfection. You are a Monaco winner. Nice work, Peter Thomas. P1. The battle for P2 rages on. Zekai is about a second behind, so probably not going to get Dimitri here. So it will be Aspect P2. Another good result for him. And Zekai Chu will come across in P3. And then back through the field. Jez is currently P4 with Daniel Lambert trying to track him down. Daniel's got the 3 seconds, so even if he was to pass him, Jeremy would hold on to P4. So that's a great result for Jezza. He'll be very happy with that. Daniel Lambert will be also chuffed. And he's 6 seconds clear of Kyle Jackson. So he'll hang on to that P5. Nick Randall not far behind. As you said, Jacob, great strat from him. Went very, very, very long on those initial mediums and brought the softs home for P7. Muhammad Afan revving the guts out of it.
It's still going to get across the line, though, there for P8.
Jared Ellis is doing donuts there at the start-finish straight. He hasn't finished yet, but
I know, because Peter lapped him, so that'll do him.
You said before about the Tier 1 boys getting in the chat. Peter, straight in here. Get in there. Dripping in sweat.
You did that comfortably, mate.
Yeah, mate. That's a great performance from you. That's you up there on the podium here in Monaco. Great result. Great race. In command the entire time, mate. You were never on screen. Don't watch this stream back. You will not be interested because you were never on it. Never in your business. No shenanigans, no yellows. Just a straight commanding performance. Pole to the finish line. We got a little bit dubious there at the end when we saw that fuel light springing along, but no, you brought it home. No worries. Dimitri up there in P2. And Zekai Chu, for the second week in a row, grabs himself P3.
Jeremy Washington from P7 to P4. Daniel Lambert and Kyle Jackson, the two Williams boys, a pretty consistent race. Started around about where they finished. They'll be pleased with that. Nick Randall did very nicely up from P13 as we discussed. Mohamed Afan joining him from P12, managed to snap a P8 with a 2-stop. Raj Sandhu's ears just pricked up somewhere. Mitch Weatherburn P9 after starting from P2, not the race he was after. Did reasonably well to cover from the back of the field and get up there into P9. Donny Sadewa wrapped out the top 10 after starting from 10th. Kenneth Ang, Tom Malone, Ethan Small, Wana Feek, Jared Ellis and Rafley Fidelia were the last to be classified, with poor old Nando, Alex Bowen and Danny Wong your did not finishers.
That was just as intense. It does not get any easier second time round.
100%. Nah, look, hats off to Tier 2 because that was a cracking race. They made Monaco exciting. But yeah, Tier 1 also very good. Yeah, you know, people don't like Monaco, and I can kind of understand why, but I love streaming it. I love commentating. It's one of my favourite tracks, so you can all get in the bin, in my opinion.
We have Imola next week, I believe, and I believe that is our first endurance race for the series.
Boy, oh boy.
So that's going to be a big one. 100% race at Imola.
Bring a tent for that one, and some dialogue, and we'll have to bring some quizzes and maybe some Sudoku, because those things, they are battles of attrition in their own right. Those big 100% races. Imola are a good track to have it at. That's an exciting track to have an endurance race. Good choice, that one, I reckon. So, looking forward to that one. Of course, back for ACC action on Wednesday and Thursday, with the Porsche Cup and the BMWs returning on Wednesday, and the Sprint Series, of course, on Thursday. Pop into the Discord and check out the streams channel on Tuesday, because a lot of our rookies like to post their streams in there, and the rookies are a good watch. I'll tell you what, speaking of respect, they are one of my favourite sets of drivers to watch. They go about it. They're very friendly, very happy bunch there in the rookies chat. So get amongst them on Tuesday if you feel like it. Other than that, we will be back for Imola next Sunday night. Until then, Jacob Weatherburn, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me. Pleasure as always.
Chat, thank you for being here. Can everybody, one last happy birthday, Jan Tully, number 75. Happy birthday, darling. Looking forward to seeing you later on the week. Enjoy the rest of your night. Until then, Jamie Conboy here with Jacob Weatherburn. OOR. Good night.